You like that one, right, Jimmy?
I do, yeah. That's a really good one.
We played a little bit of that yesterday, and I said, man, we got to just play the whole song.
Yeah, that's the time when Metallica, there's a lot of hardcore Metallica fans or who think they're hardcore Metallica fans who don't like that album.
That's just stupid.
That's when they sold out.
That's when I jumped on board, I'll be honest with you. I didn't really know much about Metallica at the time. Yeah, I was working in Buffalo. They didn't get a lot of airplay back in the day, and then that Black Album put them over the top.
Yeah, what's this... oh, my God, Enter Sandman,
yeah. Yeah, Enter Sandman was just ridiculous. I mean, that was a great song.
Yeah.
But I guess if you were a hardcore Metallica song, I could see where you think they sold out with that. But
it was a great album, but I mean, it wasn't... I thought, like Ride the Lightning is better and Kill 'Em All and Master Puppets, but I saw them way back when they opened for Ozzy. I guess it was on the Master Puppets tour, I think.
Well, with me, it was the Black Album. Then I went back in their catalog and found all those other great songs. Because I just didn't know much about them. I just didn't. My two favorite songs off that album is Wherever I May Roam and Sad But True. By far, those are the two I love. So
Unforgiven's a lovely song.
Oh, those are all terrific songs. Yeah. Nothing Else Matters.
Yeah.
And then what's the other one? The one that's just in your face.
Enter Sandman, no?
Oh, Christ. We played it after 9/11. Give me the tracks. God, I can't believe I don't remember this one.
I don't
know. Don't Tread on Me, of course. Don't Tread on Me.
Yeah.
I love that song. Anyway, good morning to everybody.
What an interesting night on Twitter it was last night.
You were battling, I think.
Yeah.
Saw some battling going on with Jim Norton.
This whole Amy Schumer thing is just ridiculous. And people like, why do you delete the tweets after you fight with people? I do that a lot. I go back and I clean up my timeline when I'm done. When I'm done, I just go back and I delete them because people reading through it, it's like, why have them all there?
Yeah.
It's like I argued. Ugh.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about it. I'm finished.
Yeah, I do the same thing. You clean it up every once in a while.
I'm not sorry for any of it. I was arguing with this girl. Don't think I deleted them because I'm sorry I would argue with her. None of it. I meant every word of it to her.
Right.
But it's just like, you just clean up the timeline. Stupid.
Well, I guess Amy Schumer's getting some heat because I would say some feel that she took a few jokes from our good pal and her good pal, Patrice O'Neal, for the HBO special. I don't see it that way, and Jimmy certainly doesn't see it that way as well, and wrote a fine piece that we all retweeted last night. If you want to go check it out, it's on Jim Norton's Facebook page.
Yeah, it's weird. It was like one of these things where Patrice had done these jokes. People know the Angry Pirate or the
Cleveland Steamer.
The Chili Dog is my favorite. I never heard him do it, but it's just,
the Rusty Trombone. If you've been a fan of this show over the years and all the variations of this radio show, we even did it. I think we started doing that bit 20 years ago. It was just one of those bits that has been out there forever, and I don't even know who wrote it originally.
I don't either.
Every radio show in America has kind of done the bit.
Yeah, they're like Polish jokes in a way. Like they've been done. Nobody owns them. That really is the way it is. Mm-hmm. And that's why when I wrote, people got mad because I said, like, hey, these are idiotic accusations. And I said the people who are making these don't know, obviously, nothing about comedy. And the reason I said that wasn't to be arrogant, but, like, there's no comedian that's going to look at those and go, oh, my God, those were his. Right. He didn't say they were his.
Right.
He never claimed they were his. And somebody tweeted a clip, which I retweeted, of him on the show when Louis called in on K-Rock. Talking about it. I think it was after that thing where he annoyed that feminist with them on Fox.
Sure.
And he's like, but they're not mine. They're just a thing.
Right.
He never wanted people to think they were his. He was a brilliant comic who was so brilliant that, just because you're brilliant doesn't mean you don't enjoy doing something silly once in a while on stage.
Yeah.
But it literally is like saying that somebody can't do certain Polish jokes because another comedian did them. Mm-hmm. Patrice did not own those jokes. And that's just the fact this was not original Patrice material. And he never said they were.
I told you before the show, I remember seeing him at Comics, a club that's no longer around. And he broke into those at the end of his set. I was thinking to myself, wow, why is he doing this? I was a little confused because just like you said, I know they've been out there forever.
Yeah.
But in the end, Patrice in his own way gave it, his own twist on the thing. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I was fine with it. Not that matters, but I remember thinking, wow, this is not original material. This is stuff that we've all sort of have heard or have done in our own careers at one point. So,
Yeah, you can't lay claim to stuff that's been out there in the way those things have been out there. He was very funny when he did them. When he did them on Fox, it was awesome when he just annoyed that feminist.
We should find that clip. That clip is one of my favorite clips ever of Patrice O'Neal.
It was great. But when people come out and blatantly say, she's a thief, it's like that's a serious accusation to make against the comic. And there are comedians who are thieves, and the comics usually know who they are. We know the difference between parallel thinking and when people are, I'm not saying she never saw Patrice do those bits. Yeah. She may have seen him do them, but I don't think that she saw him and goes, okay, now I'm going to do them. He didn't own them.
Yeah. No one owns those. And I don't think there's a comic down at the Comedy Cellar that thinks that Amy Schumer's a joke thief. That's just ridiculous. Someone's not a joke thief, and then you finally notice it on their closing bit on their HBO special. It's not how it happens. Yeah.
People who work around somebody for years, you know someone's a joke thief long before they get to that point. And I've never heard that accusation made against her. I've never thought of it, and not one comic I've ever spoken to has ever said, I think she's taking stuff.
Yeah. Unfortunately, she's going to get some heat over this one.
Yeah,
because no one's going to want to listen to actual comics talking about this, like yourself.
Yeah, and Colin tweeted for her last night.
And Colin, and I'm sure Chris Rock will say something. In the end, it's all bullshit, but she's going to get some heat because they are very similar to what Patrice did. But Patrice wasn't the first guy to do those.
He was not the first guy to do that.
Not even close.
No.
Not even close.
And saying that, some guy on Twitter, and he kind of, I think he felt stupid afterwards, but he accused me of throwing a dead Patrice under the bus.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, wait a minute, by saying something that Patrice himself had said? In fact, I'm glad whatever fan found that clip and tweeted it, I appreciated it. But he actually had Patrice saying that.
Well, we got the clip. Let's play that. It's from our old show. What year is this from?
I'm going to guess 2008, around there, or something. I don't know.
We were at K-Rock?
2005.
Yeah. No.
This is not 2005. We weren't on K-Rock in 2005.
2005.
1/18/2005.
7/8/2005.
7/8.
But wait a minute.
2005. 2000. We might have been there.
Were we at that 2005? No.
We might have been there. Yeah. I think about a year in, when did we come back to radio? In October, right? So it might be very early on.
Something tells me that timestamp is wrong.
Yeah, it could be wrong.
That timestamp is wrong. I don't think we were there.
Eric is saying April 2006 we started on K-Rock, and that sounds about right.
We started on K-Rock.
Right. So maybe it's supposed to be July 8th, 2006. Maybe they got the 2005 wrong. All right, whatever. I mean,
or maybe somebody who uploaded it lives in a different country, and it's 2008. Like you know how they flip the month and the year?
I thought you said Spider on my right.
Whatever.
I'm not helping.
This it's safe to say this is a long time ago, 6, 7, possibly 8 years ago. So let's play this.
Can't really describe all those terms are like such a no-no on radio.
And she doesn't. She's making this like this is my creation.
Right.
I'm like,
no.
I'm just going through it. Like what? And she made it to be some type of. She validated that nonsense.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely did.
And then she goes way overboard as far as. And then go to the very end. He talks about it there briefly.
I don't know what we just heard there. What's the setup?
We were talking about the terms. I think this was right after he had gone on Fox.
Okay.
And argued with that feminist. So I think we were talking about the terms. He couldn't say them on K-Rock.
Right.
But I think right before that he said something like Rusty Trump. One of them got said.
Right.
But he was talking about them right there. But at the very end.
But who was saying they were hers?
No one was saying they were hers.
I heard
he was saying she validated that nonsense.
Oh, okay.
No, this wasn't Fox. I'm sorry. I think he had done a benefit. I think a bunch of comedians had done a benefit for something.
Yeah.
A feminist and one of the feminists got mad or something.
Okay.
So he was saying she validated this nonsense.
Okay.
He's like, they're acting like it's my creation.
Oh, okay.
But then at the end, he's a bit more specific.
All right, let's.
I'm so sorry, Jimmy. You're hurting today. I shouldn't have laughed at you.
What happened, Jim?
Nothing does comedy better than being quoted so that you can tell how funny it is in an angry article. Because Patrice's bit is obviously, I mean, just the fact that she spelled out arg.
Arg. I mean, it reads funny.
A lot of A's, by the way. It's not my Louis. It's not even my bit. It's just
it's a thing. One of those
going around. It's a thing.
Yeah, it's yours now, buddy.
Yeah, no kidding.
Arg.
All right, Louis.
There you go from the man himself saying that they're not his bits.
It's not my bits. And I know someone will grab Louis, yeah, but Louis said they're yours now. And look, Louis a great comic, but no comic has the right to, in all seriousness, give a, it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, but there you're hearing it from Patrice himself. They're not my bits.
But
we did them at NEW, so the NEW years for us was what, 98 to 2002 we were doing them.
People just like to be mad. Like, they like to be angry. Like, if you know that they're not, I get why people, look, it's like, what do you think? You guys are more protective of Patrice than his friends were? Mm-hmm. And I love this, like, Amy Schumer's my meal ticket. Like, she's put me on her show, which was great.
Right.
And I didn't even make the final cut of the movie, and I'm saying, I don't think she stole them. Like,
you guys are just friends. You've known each other forever.
Yeah. But if people want to call in, I would love to hear people saying, I would love to hear.
Sure. Colin Quinn's tweet last night about Amy Schumer thing. A premise is not a joke, and a premise that's part of popular culture is not anybody's. Patrice would agree. He did agree. We got audio of him agreeing. It's old audio, but he would say the same thing today if he was alive.
Yeah, and he would be, I think, irritated that people were trying to marry him to those, that they were his legacy.
We love Patrice O'Neal, but he himself said those were not his jokes. He tried to give his own spin a little bit, but that's was the greatness of Patrice. He could take something that was out there for a long time and try to make it, slightly different and his own. But in the end, it wasn't his.
And people can, hey, look, you can hate Amy if you want. You can think she stinks. You can think this feminist stuff you don't like. Fine, but to accuse somebody of being a thief, you better know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous. That audio really, it's Patrice singing. They weren't his. But no one will pick up on that clip.
No, they hear it, but they don't care because they like the idea of being mad at her or whatever the moment is. They like being angry at her or they like saying this. So when you realize, okay, it's not true, then instead of just going, okay, I should stop now, it's not true, they're going to keep going.
Well, Amy Schumer got so big that it's time for society to try to knock her down now. That's what's going to end up happening. They try to do it with everybody that gets that type of fame.
That's all it is.
Her fame is off the charts, so now it's time to knock her down. I think it's ridiculous. She's going to get a lot of heat for this for the next couple of days, and it's all bullshit. It's sad that she's going to have to deal with that crap. But no one's going to pay attention to what you just said, the clip we just played. They're just going to continue writing their stories.
If I really thought Amy Schumer was stealing a Patrice O'Neal bit and doing it, I would not have written a fucking article defending her on Facebook. I know everybody thinks I'm a whore and that I wouldn't care. But if you think that the way I felt about Patrice, that I would fucking watch one of his bits get stolen and then defend the person who was doing it knowing that the bit was stolen, I mean, it's just, for what?
And it's a small percentage of people that think you're a whore.
There's a lot of them, and then sometimes they are correct. I can be a definite whore. If you see me tap dancing after a show and fucking holding a shirt in one hand and a DVD in the other, that's
whorish.
Yeah, exactly. It's fucking Turkish bazaar. It's not a moment of integrity for the kid, but...
Did Colin call it that?
Yes, I've quoted him many times on that one. He said that it's like a Turkish bazaar after my show.
Very nice. Let's go to Chris in Michigan. If you want to call in on this, we'd love to hear you. Even the ones that disagree with Jimmy.
I would say
don't hide behind a fake Twitter fucking name. You got a chance to call Jimmy right now.
Yeah.
Chris in Michigan, let's go. Phone's working, not
hello?
working. Are you there, Chris? Might be the phones.
I hope not.
Let's try one more before we decide it's the phones. Pat in Maine. Pat. Oh, boy. Phones. Pat in Maine.
What's wrong with the phones?
Yeah, you there?
Hi,
Okay.
Pat. Yes, we're good.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah,
buddy.
once you say that this type of premise, like the whole pirate, Superman, things like that, could possibly be compared to that of like the Aristocrats joke, Jimmy, from a comedy standpoint, that everybody sort of does their own thing, makes it their own. Not necessarily that comedians perform the Aristocrats joke in their skits, but isn't it a similar premise?
Yeah, and the thing with the Aristocrats is, and again, I've never told the Aristocrats joke. I think that everybody tells it slightly differently too. I think the Aristocrats joke is even more, is a little bit different in the sense that the idea of that is the umbrella is the Aristocrats joke, and you got to hit all these points. But I think there's enough room in the Aristocrats joke for originality, where you're doing 5 or 6 different takes. You know what I mean? And then I took horse shit and shoved it in her cunt while she was watching All in the Family.
Yeah.
Well, you can be so specific. I think if it was that kind of joke and she took something that, or someone took something that was more specific, you'd go, yeah, that's stealing. But, the premise of the aristocrats joke is for anybody.
And the same is true with these sex acts. The ones she used, did she spin them and make them her own a little bit, or are they kind of...
they're very similar to the way they are on
the ones that have been online for a while?
Yeah, like I wrote the Facebook thing, and I basically put 2 pictures with it. Just quick screen grabs from the Urban Dictionary, like these are a lot of them. And then someone said that she took this... there's like Patrice did the poltergeist and she did the Houdini. So I thought people thought that she took the poltergeist and just changed the name of it.
Yeah.
So I found the definition. Here it is.
Yeah.
And I put it up. And then someone tweets, it's not even the same thing. She took this term and used Patrice's joke, like the Houdini. So I went and looked back and I realized, it's the second definition is the one Amy did. Like there's a couple of different definitions for it.
Right.
But it's the second definition, which is you're fucking a girl doggy style on the first floor of the house. And I'd never heard this one. And then you run outside and like you fucking dance or wave or whatever the fuck you do while your buddy's fucking her.
Yeah.
And that was the definition. And so I tweeted that, and this person just didn't want to be wrong. She just didn't want to be wrong. Well, and that's all there is to it.
She thought that Amy just flat out ripped off Patrice O'Neal.
She thought that, but then once it was pointed out, instead of realizing, I didn't know what I was talking about, she just had to keep going because her whole thing was she wanted to be right.
I'd like to think that Amy Schumer ripped us off from 1998, 1999.
I would love to think that, yes.
Because we did it way back then.
That's right, the rusty trombone. It's mine.
Oh, my God, we had songs come in about these things.
Of course, on the offensive song contest on NEW.
Yeah, there was a rusty trombone song. Maybe we can find that for the people. It was terrific. Eric could find that, I'm sure. Let's say hi to Chris in Michigan. Go ahead.
Hey, I saw her in January 2014. I dragged my girlfriend to see her. Showed her a bunch of YouTube clips before we went. Half the show was stuff that was already on YouTube. This whole mess here with all these, rusty trombone, angry pirates, she did that almost 2 years ago. She's more angry about her not having new material every 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, if you could say, why did she, do that because you didn't like the jokes, that's fine.
No, it's not. It's not about not liking the jokes, Jimmy. It's about doing the same material over and over. I spent $50 to go see her per ticket, and I'm seeing the same shit that I saw on YouTube already.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's...
I'd be more angry about her not doing new material. It's old. She did that stuff, and she was asking the audience, you heard terms like that. What else is there? And I yelled out the angry pirate, gave the same definition that Patrice gave, and it was just... It's old, man.
Wait a minute, hold on. She was actually playing with the audience, saying what, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because everyone knows these. There's going to be a bunch of people in every comedy audience that knows these.
So you're a guy at a comedy show who heard Amy just playing with these and going, hey, what are some of the other ones, asking the audience?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I had already heard her talking about the stuff on your show.
Okay.
And so it's just the same material though, rehashed over. I didn't watch the new special, but I'm just upset that I go to see a comedy show like that. I would go see Jimmy, and I would see new stuff every year.
Well, you have a right to want newer stuff, but don't, that's off the subject. I mean, that's a different accusation than stealing, man. Stealing's a much more serious thing.
I would just. I think people should be more upset about it if they've ever seen her stuff. It's like, why do you keep doing the same shit over and over?
All right. Well, thank you for the call, buddy, and I appreciate you saying that. I didn't know she was actually playing with the audience, asking that. That even further says she's not trying to take it from Patrice. Amy knows that a lot of people who see her knew Patrice. She doesn't think that, you know what I mean? She loved Patrice.
Yeah.
She doesn't think that anyone who's seen her has never heard of Patrice O'Neal.
That's ridiculous. All right.
But thank you for the call, buddy.
Thank you. Let's say hi to Gary in Jersey. Gary.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy.
Hi, Gary.
Hey, plain and simple, everybody's just jealous of her success. That's all it is. They're jealous because she's moving on and somebody else, so what if you heard the same thing? Everybody does it anyway.
Well, like I said a few minutes ago, I mean, she's at the point in her fame that it's time to knock her down. That's what society tries to do. It's ridiculous, but that's what they're trying to do. And now they think they got something. So you watch. She's going to get some heat in the next couple of days. Even though logically we explained the whole thing for everybody. And we could line up the comics outside this studio, all the guys you have known over the years, and I don't think one of them would say that Amy Schumer stole from Patrice O'Neal. Not one of them.
She's been getting heat for a while. Everybody's just nitpicking. They're just jealous of her success. That's all.
You know, somebody just tweeted me that this guy Mike.
Thank you,
He
Gary.
said Patrice told the poltergeist joke at the Camden Virus show. That was the Bill Burr one.
Yeah.
And I didn't see Patrice's set that night. I had to close that show, so I remember I was not out watching comedians.
Yeah.
But I didn't. You know, I watched this tape because it went out, the Amy Patrice thing. I did watch it.
Yeah.
And even though I knew what I was watching, I never saw that set, obviously. But it was like, it was so good to see him just sitting on stage talking.
No kidding.
God, he was so fucking funny, man.
He would grab that stool and just sit there and just be in the moment. He was unbelievable.
Yeah, he was a great
For the people
comedian.
that never got to see Patrice O'Neal perform, man, you missed out. I mean, being in an actual room with him. You know, the stuff on TV is amazing, obviously, but to be in that room where he just sits down and it almost feels like he's just making things up as he goes, and so relaxed as he did it. Yeah. Let me say hi to Robert in Louisiana. Robert.
Hey, how's it going this morning, gentlemen?
Hello,
all right,
Robert.
man.
See, this is a win-win for Amy. They're talking about her.
Nah, but this is not their. They always say bad press is good press, but no comedian wants to be called a thief and accused of stealing something from a person who's dead that they loved. Like, honestly, that's not a good piece of press ever.
Well, you know, I got you, but I did call up to tie this in with something you talked about yesterday, and this gal that wanted to prove herself right to you. She must have been one of those individuals that got a participation trophy, didn't learn how to win or lose, but always had to be correct.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know anything about her other than what she claims to do for a living. But
I mean, as human beings, though, when you're in the middle of an argument, you want to be right. Period. It's really hard to back down and go, okay, I see your point. You might be thinking that in your head, but it's really tough to actually say that, you know, to vocalize that.
But I guess so. According to the people on Twitter, I have no integrity. I guess Colin has no integrity. It's like, what other comedians do you think are just? You know, like, what do you think by defending Amy? What do you think she's going to do? Say, Jim, you got to co-star in this movie. I mean, don't be fucking idiots. That's not how it happens.
These guys are defending their profession.
Yeah, and my friend, who I don't think stole from my other friend. Yeah, I just didn't believe she stole that.
You were close with Patrice. You're close with Amy. I would guess you were probably even closer with Patrice O'Neal.
Yeah.
So it would probably be easier for Jimmy to go, yeah, that's right. You know, I got to defend Patrice. But, you know, fair is fair. Jimmy, this is how Jimmy sees it in a lot of other comics.
Yeah.
Period.
I was shocked that people would see those jokes and think, oh, my God, she took them from him.
Right.
I understand why people say, oh, yeah, he did do them. Yeah, I got it. But they weren't, and he said they weren't his.
We got audio of him. We have audio of him saying they weren't his.
It's like if someone can explain to me what it is, and I had someone said, well, she did them in the same order as he did in a 2007 set in Montreal. Like, was that even a televised set, or was that? I guess it was. I mean, it's online.
I don't know. All right, let me move on to Derek in Kentucky. Derek.
Hey, Opie and Jimmy, got a question. Here's a comment, more or less. Doesn't she make enough money or have enough money backing her that she has writers that write for her where she doesn't have to repeat material that was already done? I love Amy, but doesn't she have people to do that for her?
I don't think she has stand-up writers. I don't know if she does, but I don't think she does. But if you do a joke like that, again, that's like it's like doing a Polish joke. If you want to do that, you can do that. And I think she did the rape line at the end of it. So maybe that was why she did it, because she thought it was a funny way to close with a rape line.
Right.
I don't know.
And we're also talking about only how many minutes was that as far as the whole special?
I think it was two. That's all I saw of it. I think it was two jokes.
So less than a minute, probably. I mean, she had an amazing special.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yes, buddy.
Hey, I'm coming to Louisville when you come, but I heard you say a couple of weeks ago that there was some scheduling conflict.
It'll be in February. Yeah, I totally forgot. I had switched that because I was not supposed to book that weekend. I think I was supposed to be off because I want to go to UFC to see the Aldo McGregor fight.
Correct. You said that on the air, and I didn't know, and I emailed you and never heard nothing back.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. It was in February. I think I'm there in February.
Okay, I'll see you in Louisville, brother. And if I have a picture of me and you, will you autograph that?
Of course, yeah, of course. Right over my face. I do that. I always sign over my face so I look like the Ring because I have body shame.
Thanks, Jimmy. Love you, brother.
Thanks, man. See you there.
Let me say hi to Chris in Indiana. Chris, go ahead.
How's it going, guys?
Hey, Chris.
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Yeah, I listened to the clips, just because I heard about it on Twitter. And, I mean, I see where other people are coming from. Some of the shit was similar. But one thing in particular did seem really alike. But at the same time, this isn't the first time somebody has quoted the great Patrice O'Neal. And let's not forget that.
I honestly didn't even think she was quoting Patrice because these were the jokes that weren't specific to Patrice. They weren't his jokes.
Well, I mean, as far as the looking through the window thing and doing the whole swap thing, it was similar. The only thing she did was change the wording around.
Well, where did you Urban Dictionary?
I looked up the Urban Dictionary.
If you go to the Urban Dictionary, you're going to see these jokes, and they didn't put them up there because Patrice did them. They've been around for a long,
they've been
long
around
time,
for a long
and
time.
there's a lot of different variations on each of Sex Act, by the way.
Those ones I tweeted. Just go to the actual Urban Dictionary and look up the Houdini. I'd never heard of the Houdini. It's fucking hilarious. First of all, whoever did create these, I'm sure it's a bunch of different people. Like, it's not one guy.
Mm-hmm.
They're really kind of brilliant. I mean, whoever came up with them the first time, they're fucking hilarious.
I would love to know who came up with these originally.
I definitely
and how far back do they go?
This is the first definition. Houdini is a man reaches climax while in doggy style. The man pulls out and spits on his partner's back, fooling them into thinking that he's ejaculated. However, when the partner turns around, he lets loose baby yogurt in her face. That's very funny. There's another definition for that, too.
That's from 2005.
There's another one, too.
Yeah, okay, I'll find it.
Right.
I might be on.
All
Thanks,
right, guys.
All right, buddy.
I appreciate it.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Houdini. Yeah. A Houdini can, this is from the Urban Dictionary, the guy who just said that the window thing was specific. A Houdini can also refer to a sex act where a male who is fucking a chick doggy style in front of the first floor window quickly pulls out and his friend jumps in to continue banging her. The first man then proceeds to run naked and dance in front of his bitch outside the window. That's the way it's written on the Urban Dictionary.
Yeah. All right.
Not that the Urban Dictionary is the fucking comedy Bible, but I mean, just, you know.
I don't have time to go to you, Snowy, today, but it says it's a little like trying to claim knock-knock jokes. I've heard these things for years.
Yeah.
Let's say hi to Andrew on Long Island. Andrew, go ahead, buddy.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning. All right.
Hi, buddy.
So, you know, in regards to using similar material or same material and stealing stuff, you know, this isn't something that's been going on. We've been hearing about for years, especially from you, Jimmy.
Yes.
And, you know, the thing is like, I just heard an example. On your most recent special and on Bill Burr's most recent special, right? You guys both did material on Donald Sterling. And it was both freaking hilarious. And they were different takes on it. And it was the same exact joke. That he was racist and that he was old and, you know, I mean, you know, you both attacked it from completely different angles, though. So why isn't this just the same thing?
Well, you know, I honestly don't know.
I know you don't necessarily, you tend not to watch other people.
I'll be honest, that's why I don't watch other things, because I never wanted to. I told you, David Tell so many times would come in, and Dave is so brilliant. He always have some weird things. Do you do anything about a baby taking a shit on the president? No, I don't. But he always have
okay, thanks.
These amazing original Dave is so fucking unique. But it was like, he's paranoid about that. And I've always been paranoid about that, and I never want to question where something came from. It's just, I just don't want to. Like, Bill's a great comic. I have not seen Bill's special. I have no doubt that it's fucking brilliant. I don't want to know. I don't want to.
But again, that's my point. Is that it's literally, if you break it down to its essence, it's the same joke of Donald Sterling being a racist.
Sure.
Both of you take it in a completely different angle, but it's the same joke. And not for a second in my mind, I think I saw your special first, and then I saw Bill's. And it just came into my head. I'm like, oh, Jimmy did something similar to that, but never thought in my mind that, oh, you know, Jimmy may have gotten that from Bill, or Bill may have gotten that from Jimmy. Like, it never crossed my mind because it was such a different take on it. So why can't that just be the case with Amy? You know what I mean?
The only difference is that Amy's and Patrice's were like closer conceptually, even though they had different names.
Right.
But you can trace these back and see that these are not something she got from him. She's not taking these from another comedian. And there's a huge difference in doing a joke that's kind of been out there for a while and just having fun with it, which is kind of what Patrice was doing when he did that shit. We're making the same point over and over.
True.
But that's a serious accusation to make against a comic. And like when Rogan went up and bashed Mencia, he really ruined Carlos's career.
By the way, I just watched that on YouTube. That was brutal.
But Joe had tapes and different comedians saying different things. There was a whole history, I guess, of
building up to that moment,
and a lot of different examples that he showed.
Yeah, he seems to come prepared with like a ton of ammo and a real backing. But Jimmy, let me ask you, as a comic, is this like the worst thing that somebody could do to you, like accuse you of? Is that like the worst thing you could do to a comic? Is that you're taking somebody else's material?
Well, yeah, I think it's a shitty accusation unless you're 100% sure that's what they're doing, and because it's an ugly thing. Because comedy is not like jokes. To be a bore about it, jokes are supposed to catch you off guard. That's kind of why jokes work. That's kind of what laughing is. It's like something catches you off guard and there's a reaction to it. That's why you can hear the same song for 20 years. Like this guy got mad. He's like, how come Amy did the same jokes in this one place? But no one goes to see Guns N' Roses and goes, oh, fuck, welcome to the jungle again. Right. There's a different emotion when you hear a song over and over when you hear a joke. So, you don't want to accuse somebody of stealing somebody else's.
You better be damn sure you know what you're talking about.
Songs too. I'm not saying that those are any less important to be original.
Yeah.
But comedians, like I said, most of us usually can agree who the thieves are, and her name has never come up in that conversation once.
All right, buddy. Thanks, Andrew. We're going to take one more, even though the phones, wow, every one is ringing on the
Are there any that disagree with us? Because I would rather talk to people who really...
The one guy, but he didn't say much. I'm looking. Not really, man.
Like any people on Twitter last night. I mean, I know some of you might not be in New York and awake at this hour, but call in. We're inviting you to call in.
Let me clear out some phones, and maybe they could get through, because people are making the same points here. Let's see. Okay. George, go ahead as I try to clear some lines here. What do you got, buddy? George?
Georgie.
Oh, Georgie, what's up?
Hi. I just wanted to say, well, first, I'm already panicking. Second, Big Boy from Outkast.
Yeah.
He has his own album, and Sir Lucius Leftfoot, blah, 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 blah. He has a track on there where he literally tells the joke, and it's hilarious. And that was the first time I heard it.
Which joke?
The Houdini?
The Houdini.
Yes,
From start to finish, it's a whole track on his album. It's like a 45-second track of just that joke.
Oh, okay.
And he didn't come up with that, but he made it his own in a rap song. Certainly, he would admit that he heard that years and years ago.
Yeah, it's something that's been out there forever, and nobody just created it, and everybody puts a twist on it.
Yeah, very good. I like
and also, why do you guys just keep saying the word society?
Oh, you're a newer listener. You're a newer listener. It's a Quincy thing.
No, that's what I'm saying. I haven't heard you say society. You're just saying it like normal, and I don't like that.
Oh, I thought I said society today.
Yeah,
no?
it's an old thing.
I like saying it that way. Thank you, Georgie. Thanks for listening to us. We appreciate it. All right. There goes Georgie. And yeah, one more. All right. Larry in Ohio. Larry.
Hey, Larry.
Hey, boys.
Hey.
In mainstream media, you really make the big time when you get a scalp and ruin somebody's life. That's how you get on top. And maybe there's a bunch of people on Twitter who are aping that and copying it, trying to get a scalp on Twitter. Because as a guy in Charlotte, I don't agree with his views, but he's a famous radio guy, and he coined the term the United States of the offended, where everybody just is so willing to take offense that's all they ever do. Everything that's said offends them in some way. That's how political correctness gains such power. And if I'm improperly impugning the person Jimmy was arguing with that was genuinely trying to protect Patrice's legacy, and maybe it's the attempted deification of Patrice and his legacy, and if that's the case, I think Patrice would be the first to mock them. You don't need to take care of Patrice. His legacy is big enough to take care of itself.
And Larry, sorry to interrupt you. I mentioned that too in the thing. Like, I understand that I think emotionally people loved Patrice. And when they see something that they immediately want to defend him. And I appreciate that emotion, of course. But it's like, and I wasn't trying to be a dick when I said that, but it's like, you guys don't love him more than I did.
Mm-hmm.
I really loved him. And I'm looking at this going, she didn't take it. And instead of going, okay, he means this, it's, oh, he's doing this because he wants Amy to, it's like,
yeah.
Geez, what the fuck? Why do you people think you have so much more integrity? Because you're coming to a different conclusion. You didn't even know him.
And a lot of it is fake outrage too, Larry. You know that. Oh,
yeah.
Larry's gone.
Oh, Larry's gone. Okay.
And look, now we're going around in circles, but all right, fine. But Jimmy did ask for someone.
Yes, I want people who disagree.
Ryan in Detroit. Go ahead, Ryan.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. How you doing?
All right.
Love the show.
Thank you.
Hey, Jim, I want to get your take on this because I did watch the special that night, and when she got to those jokes, I didn't think that she created them, but the thing was, I had never heard those two before. So immediately I thought she had gotten them from somewhere, but that wasn't the issue. When I saw the Patrice clip, what struck me, and I want to see what your thoughts are, if you look at that Urban Dictionary, there's probably, I'd say at least 30 or 40 different types of donkey punch, Cleveland steamer type jokes. She took the specific two. Patrice only did those two. She took the exact two that he did. That just, to me, is a little coincidental.
Let me ask you a question. Did he only do two in that set, or are there only two in the clip that you saw?
Yeah,
only two in the clip that I saw. And I mean, I've seen so many different Patrice clips. Those are the only two that I've ever seen where he's ever done that type of joke where he's basically taken a play on that premise.
Wait, didn't he do a gorilla mask one too? Oh, that's a different one. Okay, that's a different. In that clip, Patrice did the gorilla mask and the poltergeist, which are both the same thing but different names. And both, and Amy's versions were the Houdini
and Abe Lincoln.
But the Abe Lincoln and the Houdini are both legitimate. They're not ones that she created. It wasn't like she saw Patrice do it and then said, hey, I'm going to name it this. First of all, I don't know how many he actually did in that set. And second of all, I don't know how many she actually did. And did she only do those two? Or did she do three or four? No. And then chop. And did she do three or four and then chop it down and edit? I don't know.
Yes. She might have went through a whole bunch of them.
Those are the only two that I saw. And to be honest, I mean, I've heard a bunch of those jokes.
Yeah.
Those are two that I thought were probably two of the more obscure ones that I had never even heard before. And it was just, to me, when I saw the Patrice clip, I was like, wow, that's very coincidental that out of all those various types of plays on that joke, she picked the two. And who knows? I mean, you know how it is, I guess, as a comedian. I don't, but, consciously you might pick up on something or remember it one way. I don't think she was maybe trying to blatantly steal from him, but I just thought it was very odd that out of all of them, those were the same two that he did variations on.
Okay. I honestly...
I can't think for Amy, but I'm thinking if she knows these things have been out there for a long time and she wants to put them on an HBO special, she would certainly try to get a couple that are very obscure that people aren't going, oh, I heard the donkey punch before. You know, why not go as obscure as possible with that concept?
Yeah, I just don't picture Amy sitting there and hearing Patrice do it and going, I'm going to do that. And that's what thievery is. It's when you know someone did something else, you know it is their creation, and you take it consciously, and you take it.
Yeah, there's no way she did that.
Hey, Jim?
Yes, sir.
Did you already do the Andiamo's gig over in Warren, Michigan?
I did, yeah. It was awesome, by the way. That was a great gig.
I wanted to see it. Are you going to be coming back? How did it go?
It was great. I'm actually doing something in Detroit itself, the city of Detroit, probably early next year.
Great. Well, I hope to see you.
Okay, man. Thank you.
All right, Ryan.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, I wanted people to disagree, too, just because it's like, on Twitter, you're not really, when you're arguing with people who disagree.
Sure.
And so it's like, hey, man, it's an open forum. Call in.
Sure. I want to play the clip from Fox News with Patrice O'Neal. It's one of my favorite things he ever did, man. It was unbelievable. He went on there, and there was a woman from Now, I think, right?
Yeah.
The national organization.
What was her name? Sylvia something?
Of women. And he just destroyed her with these jokes. Oh, my God. She just didn't think it's something you should make fun of and blah, blah, blah. Patrice O'Neal schools broad on funny is how this is labeled on the old YouTube, and we'll tweet it out today.
Next up on the chopping block, XM satellite radio DJs Opie and Anthony. They're under fire now for airing joking comments about raping Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice. Will they be the next to go? Is radio cleaning house after the Imus debacle? With me now, New City President Sonia Osario. She took part in a recent protest calling for radio stations to stop supporting negative language in music and talk radio, and also our favorite stand-up comic, Patrice O'Neal.
Thank you, sir.
Patrice, are O&A next?
I hope not. I wish JB and Elvis didn't lose their job or Imus. It's funny. This is the thing. I don't know her, but I'm assuming that she has nothing to do with funny. So I'm gonna speak as the expert on funny. Funny people should just be left to trying to be funny.
What if they're not funny?
Then you made a mistake. But how many times has how many unfunny rape jokes lead to rape? Like,
I don't know how many jokes about rape there are.
There's a lot. But your world is not funny. Your world is next on the big story. My world is people trying to be funny.
Well, I mean, you think it's okay to try to make jokes about rape?
I'm diabetic. I make fun of that. I'm a victim. I might lose a toe. But I'm trying to make fun of. I'm trying to make fun of anything I think I can make fun of.
Sonia?
You know, what's happening now is the marketplace is deciding what's appropriate or what's not appropriate. I think the nation is just tired. There's a new mood in the nation.
What nation?
The nation. You know what? We're tired of things that are just
Is this the nation, this paper, and you?
hurtful
I'm not the nation. I'm just speaking for me and funny. You're speaking for the nation, or you're speaking for...
Yeah, you know why? Because I remember 6 years ago doing something against Anthony Opie because they were just so outrageous and their violent images that they put out to women was just uncalled for. And now, I think people...
You think they were trying to be funny?
I think now people in this country
think they were trying to be
are
funny?
tired. You know what? I don't care if they were trying to be funny.
That's what I'm saying.
Let me tell you
Why are
something,
you
Keith.
in that business?
I've been to your show once, and it wasn't very funny being a woman.
It was
in your
hilarious.
Show, when you talked about...
That's why she doesn't like me. I was in the paper with her, and the joke is hilarious, called The Angry Pirate. And the lady who wrote it in her outrage didn't even know what it meant, and anybody who read it laughed, because they know what funny... You're not living in the context of funny. You're living in the context of fire.
Have every right to be as funny as they want. They can go out and try to be as funny as they want, make as much money being as funny as they want. This is what's happening. There is a change in this country. People are realizing they have an opportunity to speak out, and advertisers are listening. Radio stations are listening.
You're not talking to who I talk to.
And you're not going to get paid as much money anymore.
Sonia and Patrice,
That's
look
what
at
it
this.
is. The marketplace
More
is
CBS
speaking.
radio firings. They've been on a tear lately.
All right.
Are they cleaning house, or is this the PC cops run amok?
You know what it is, John. You know what it is while you're reading that paper. It's the PC cops run amok.
Do you think she's a PC cop?
Of course she is. She has an entire encyclopedia of her stance on it, but it's no passion involved. It's not a real... This is just what she has to say. We are outraged and fired and fired and fired. Name calling. I'm outraged. I am outraged.
You should be outraged.
I am a fool. Now, if I called you a fool...
You know what? People are feeling a new sense of entitlement.
Who are these people
in this country?
Who are the people?
A new
How can
sense
you,
of entitlement.
Patrice, here's my question. How can you justify a bad joke, a joke that isn't funny? Oh, wait a minute. Go ahead. An attempt that isn't funny, doesn't get any laughs, and is about raping the first black woman to ever become the Secretary of State of the United States.
Don't throw that at me.
Well, why not?
The attempt is what I'm trying to fight for. The joke funny jokes and unfunny jokes are come out of the same birth. That you don't know if anything is going to be funny. You should attempt to be able to make anything funny.
Don't you think a joke about rape is doomed to be not funny?
It's possible, but I've heard them.
You've heard a funny rape joke?
I say a couple. Watch my HBO special. I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah, Patrice says that if you're having sex with a woman, doggy style, and if you hit her in the head just the right time.
No, it's ejaculate in her eye and kick her in the shin, and she walks around like, argh! It's the angry pirate. That's what she was trying to say.
A violent act of hitting her in the back of her head, her body.
It's called the donkey punch.
Which will then...
Why are you laughing? She's outraged. It's called the donkey punch. It's called humor that she has no clue what it is.
You have the same problem that Opie and Anthony does. You can't say just anything on the air.
You can say anything you want. It might not be funny. You might get in trouble for it, but you should be able to be attempting. And plus, when is a crazy bum going to get an opportunity to rape the president? If the president's wife, John? It was trying to be funny.
All right, Patrice, why aren't I hearing Al Sharpton complain about this thing involving Congress?
Because it wasn't involving young black women.
Well, it's involving a very prominent black woman.
Well, where was she during young black? Everybody has their agenda.
I was there.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, excuse me.
But why am I not hearing from Sharpton?
Because it doesn't concern him. It's not concerning him. It's black. Come on now. You know Al Sharpton has his agenda, and it was perfect for Al. Young black women. And now she's representing just women in general. She's not representing the nappy hoe part. She's representing just the hoe. The nappy-headed part, she has nothing to do with. Just the hoe.
Sonia?
You know what? Women have been abused publicly in the media for too long, and people are tired of it. This has been a beautiful response of just the general public saying to advertisers, we're your consumers. We don't want to have to avoid everything in the street. We don't want to have to worry about what radio station we turn on, and there is some really derogatory, violent
You're going
thing
get
to
all
deal
your
with.
information, ma'am, is secondhand from someone making you aware that someone may have said something that you should be upset about. It's a shame. Your constituency, the people you represent aren't all victims in this matter.
Patrice O'Neal, thank you very much. Sonia Osorio, thanks to both of you. Appreciate it. Time for big politics.
He really demolished that woman.
And we didn't need to hear the whole clip, but it's just so good to hear his voice. My God.
Yeah.
He destroyed her. And a couple things about that really fast. She thought, this Sonia, that CBS Radio was going to fire us. And we certainly had our problems with CBS Radio, which was the regular radio side of our deal back in the day.
Yeah.
They were the ones that were cool through the whole thing.
Yeah, if XM at that time had their way, the Opie and Anthony show would have ended that day. That would have ended that week.
I was on 8th Avenue. Eric Logan called me, and he goes, "Oh, hear me out. Don't say a word," because he knows I tend to fight back. He goes, "You're suspended." How long did they suspend us for?
A month.
He goes, "You're suspended for a month." And then I was like, "Eric," and he goes, "Hear me out. This is the best I could do. They want to fire you guys. You got to take this, and you have to listen to me on this one." And I'm like, "Come on, real?" He goes, "I'm telling you, they want you guys fired. So just take this month. Don't argue the point, and we'll get through this." And I was like, Jesus, this is what it's come down to, is satellite radio with this homeless Charlie guy that was, like Patrice said, came in, a homeless guy for real, and he was beyond hilarious, and he was also extremely edgy with what he was saying. But, you know, whatever.
It's the same misguided or even purposeful nonsense that's what people are going after Amy for.
Yeah.
It's like, even after you get explained to you the difference between these things and why this is not stealing, people don't care about the explanation.
Yeah.
They don't care about it. They just want to go through with whatever it's almost like people want to achieve their goal. It's almost like if you're fucking a girl and you think, like, I'm going to fuck this girl till I come, and then halfway through she's like, I'm not fucking you because I like you. I'm only fucking you because I'm bored or I thought you were someone else. And then you have to make the decision, do I want to stop fucking or do I want to keep going because the goal is to shoot my load? That's what these people do. It's like these people that are going after Amy right now, they're not social justice warriors. They're people that just want something to do and they want to be pissed off. And at first it's like, okay, I get you're pissed off and you think she stole something. You have every right to say that. But then, like, when it gets explained to you or broken down by people who knew the guy and who knew the material, they still persist.
Trust me when I say most of these people just ignore the facts. You could explain it to
geese.
You could explain it right to their face, and they're going to ignore all that because they have their own agenda. One other thing about that clip, that it was asked, why isn't Al Sharpton going after Opie and Anthony when we got in trouble with this homeless Charlie thing? He absolutely did. There was a little inside wheeling and dealing that happened with XM at the time to calm him the fuck down. I believe it was a promise of a radio show, or it was a radio show. I'm not exactly sure how it went down in the end, but I know for a fact that XM went to Al Sharpton to calm him down so he wouldn't go forward with the complaint over the homeless Charlie thing. So, wow, God, it was good to hear Patrice O'Neal. Whatever happened to Sonia? Is she still, like,
I swear to God,
I
swear to God, I thought you were going to say whatever happened to Patrice. As you were talking, like that fucking like what? I don't know. I never heard from her again.
Whatever happened to her? Because she wants to change society.
Dude, the funniest part of that is she leads him into that job.
I know, and people are laughing off camera, and Patrice brilliantly picked up on that and said, "Why are you laughing?" Because they were all making his point that funny's funny in the end. You could joke about anything, but you got to be really careful that it's funny when you go after those very touchy subjects. So there you have it. Wow, I didn't think we were going to do an hour on it, but I think it was worth it.
And the phone
Amy
lines were
Schumer is
open.
not a joke thief.
No.
Period.
You were welcome to call in and disagree. No one was screening your calls. We wanted people. We actually cleared people who agreed off the line.
Yeah, this guy, I heard the Houdini when I was 7 years old at my temple. I would imagine he's a little older than 7 these days.
I hope not.
All right, we got Jim Breuer standing by, so we should take our first break. God, we haven't seen Breuer in a while. Yeah. And we also have Jeff Daniels a little later today from Steve Jobs. I saw the movie. Did you get to see it, Jimmy?
I did not, no.
He was terrific in it. His acting was very, very good.
Yeah, I went and watched the Walk instead.
I enjoyed the movie immensely, and I hear he's also the head of NASA in that Martian movie. We should have maybe stayed at the theater and saw another film, so I could be prepared to talk about The Martian with him as well. But oh well. What are you going to do? All right. Jimmy's got some things. Go to jimnorton.com for all the tour dates. I know it's Albany this weekend at Comedy Works.
Yes.
And what else we got? Oh, we're putting videos up every day on the YouTube channel, Opie Radio. Yesterday's highlight was Jimmy doing Larry Flint, so go there and check that out, please. A lot of these videos, by the way, we put a shitload up, and then we take a whole bunch of them down. So, make sure you check out the channel before we clean that up. Always trying to clean up things and make it good. I don't know, whatever. So, Jim Breuer next. Stay there.
More with Opie and Jim. After this.
Jim Breuer in the studio. We couldn't be happier to have our old pal.
Oh, my God. You got everywhere on tour. Where are you going in, Opie and Jim?
Yeah, it's
Where are you going in, Opie and Jim?
Like to hear that.
Where are you going in, Opie and Jim?
You're here.
Let's go down, Opie and Jim.
I was talking to Breuer outside the studio about, dare I say, our Mets, but I did break it down for Breuer. We bonded over the Mets a long fucking time ago.
That's right.
To the point where I used to sit in your seats at Shea Stadium every once in a while because, you couldn't go to all the games.
That's right.
And I would brag. I'm like, this is Jim Brewer's seats I'm in right now. You had nice seats, too, by the way.
Those
fantastic
were really
seats.
good. And then the good thing is I gave them up.
Yeah.
And then, because they sucked for a while.
A long time.
And I live an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
And I couldn't give the seats away. So I was chowing money.
Yep.
And next thing you know, now they're hot. And I just started contemplating, am I really willing to drive an hour and a half and touring? And I would only do it if I could get good seats. Well, I ran into the guy who gave me those seats.
Oh, no.
He's like, let me know when you want to come back to everyday seats. All right, we'll see.
How many Oh, you haven't done it?
I didn't do I don't know if I can. But I got kids now and all that.
Wouldn't it be nice just to maybe go to like 10 games a year would be nice.
That I could do.
That would
maybe
be beautiful.
Yeah. Maybe I do it. And what I've been doing this year is great. I'll call up, say, do you have any seats I can buy, whatever. Sometimes they give them to me. The playoffs I've been buying.
Okay.
Which I'm all right with.
That happened with the Islanders. I had season tickets for a long time, and the same thing. They were so bad I couldn't give them away.
Right.
So they were just empty seats night after night. I'm
Horrible.
like, I am just wasting a shitload of money on this. But anyway, so the Mets, I tapped out a long time ago. I can't fake this. I grew up a Mets fan, but for a good... I don't even know, maybe 8 years. I did not follow. I couldn't name the starting lineup of this team. That's how badly I tapped out.
It's a shame.
And now they're doing so well, and they got a very good shot here. And
Pitching. I started watching last year.
Yeah.
When they sucked. Harvey is out for the year. But out of nowhere, this DeGrom kid, I instantly loved him because he looked like a little heavy metal rock and roll kid. He looks like a young James Hetfield.
Right.
I was waiting on the mag going, yes, he could destroy. And this kid was a monster. I mean, a monster. And he won Rookie of the Year, well-deserved. I went, all right. Now, during the offseason, I saw David Wright's agent. Mm. We literally ran into each other. And he goes... Let me tell you something. David keeps telling me, wait till you see this Syndergaard kid. He goes, it blows all of them away. I went, come on. He goes, no. Everyone said this Syndergaard kid is out of control. He goes, wait till you see Matt's. I went, come on. Don't get me hopped up. He goes, I'm being dead serious. And then sure enough, I think it was May, somewhere around May.
Yeah.
The Syndergaard kid comes up. He's like 6'7".
Is that him?
No,
that's
DeGrom.
That's DeGrom.
With the hair.
That's DeGrom.
How does that hat stay on? That's all I want to know.
And now you got Syndergaard. And literally the other night, it looked like a movie.
Yeah.
His long blonde hair is blowing in the wind. He's 6'7". He throws 100 miles an hour. And I don't think there he is. And he loves comedy. I'm surprised you haven't seen this guy yet. He's at the Cellar in Gotham Comedy Club all the time. This guy
is he?
loves stand-up comics. And when I saw them pitch, I went, all right, if these kids start tightening up, But we need bats.
Yeah.
We need bats.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. Holy. And once David, dude, you missed quite a season. I mean, the Mets lost David Wright for the whole year. They had a AAA team. The Mets batting was the worst in almost baseball history. Their batting average in history. But their pitching kept them alive until they got their bats just after the All-Star break.
And that's what happened.
Dude.
And now they're on a great run.
Animals!
And I don't know anything about these guys.
I do. I'm happy for the Metropolitans. I've been a fan for many years, and I'm happy that the crack of the bat is really working out for them. Big Rusty Staub guy.
I think you're pissing off good old Rusty Staub. I think he threw out the first pitch the other night.
He did.
What
He came waddling out after his heart attack.
He had a heart attack on a plane on the way to Ireland or something.
Yeah. He's a mess.
He's
for him.
He's a mess.
He's the type of guy who gets gout. Look at him.
Oh, Rusty.
Yeah.
He didn't look too good on the mound, throwing out that first pitch. Oh,
No,
Rusty.
I mean, yeah, but he's got to be like 70.
Sure.
He's always been 400 pounds.
He looks like Larry Flint.
He does look like
does
Larry
look like
Flint.
Larry Flint.
He's at that age where you got to pull those pants up a little higher.
Where he starts wearing it around the navel.
I don't understand. I'm going to keep my pants low all the way to the end, Breuer. I'm not going to get to the point where I pull them up that high. Why does that happen?
It's the gut.
It's
They
the
don't
gut.
want the gut sticking over. When
You're
you
right.
sit down, you don't want the overlap of the gut.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
So you
I've
got to
been
pull it
there.
up over the gut.
Then again, skinny old people do it too. When you see like really skinny old people, sometimes they have it too, and I don't quite get.
I don't get that either. Maybe they don't have belts to keep their pants up. I don't know. They have to buy kid belt or something.
Then it's not much of a throw by Rusty Staub.
Yeah, but you're missing out.
I
Oak.
know. I've been watching a little bit.
Have you been watching them now in the
a little
playoffs?
bit, just a couple innings. I'm still not even watching the whole game. I just tapped out of
Do you know
baseball a
it's
long
like-
time ago.
They're against the best of the best. This is why I love. They're like, oh, Kershaw, he's won 19 games, Hall of Fame. Who beats him? DeGrom. Oh God, here comes Greinke. Who beats him? Syndergaard.
Yeah.
They're animals. They're going up against the elite of the elite, and these kids are shining and taking them down.
You're pissing off Chicago right now. We're being hurt in Chicago right now.
Well, let me tell you something. Chicago still scares the life out of me. They're another team that probably share the same fandom as the Mets. They're all kids, and they clobber the ball. I was watching this kid, Bryant, who plays third base for them, and this kid just kills the ball.
Yeah.
He can hit anybody. So they're still, if they beat DeGrom tonight, the Cubs they got a great chance.
Is it a 4
Great
o'clock
chance.
game today?
No.
It's okay.
Are you watching today?
I don't know if it's 4 o'clock. Is
I
it?
feel like
No, tonight's 8 o'clock.
Oh, 8 o'clock. Okay.
4 o'clock is Kansas City.
Oh, all right. I did see that.
Are you
I
gonna
saw
watch the
4
game?
o'clock in the paper. I messed
Are
it
you
up.
gonna watch?
Yeah.
You got to explain your video.
Dude, I might have to cancel my Europe tour. Which is next year. I didn't expect the Mets to go this far. They go to the World Series. I'm tormented right now.
When do you start your European tour?
The day the World Series starts.
You want to watch the World Series, do you? Put your hand up, Jim. Show her you can do it.
Oh, so you're just a couple weeks away.
I'm like 8 days away.
8 days away from starting your European tour.
Yes.
Oh, that's going to be rough. Are you going to still be making videos in Europe?
Yeah, I have to now. I can't stop in the World Series.
What happened with these videos? They're viral, every single one of them, and I'm laughing my ass off every single one on your Facebook. We'll tweet a few out, but they're like 500,000 views, 600,000 views.
That was
what am I saying? This one's 1.8.
Yeah,
million.
that's when they clinched. That's when they beat LA and they made it to the final round.
That's the one with La Familia, right?
I
think
well,
so.
they're all La Familia.
I know.
There's a lot of La Familias.
La Familia.
Dude, I started messing with. Didn't you do Facebook, Jimbo?
I'll post on it, but I make videos once in a while, quick ones on Twitter, but I don't do long videos.
So whatever. Social. You need to start doing. I'm not doing it. I'm not making stupid videos. I'm not doing it. I go, what am I going to make videos of? I don't want to be. I don't want to try to be funny and clever. I'm not. I'm not clever. I'm not funny. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to try to debate that or be arguing. Dumb blue collar jackass. And around February, I attempted making videos every day, and I'm like, I only know family, so I make family videos. Some of them would do well. Maybe 100,000.
You've always been great at videos. I got to interrupt you. The videos of you wandering around your town playing all those characters to this day is some of my favorite videos.
Okay.
Those things should have did really well.
They should have crushed. But I was way. I don't know. Let's say this. I was way ahead of my time. Where the crew that had around me, I'm like, this should be. That should have been on Facebook. That should have been on you. That should have been somewhere else. Where now
you should repost those things on Facebook. Maybe
I may repost them this year. So but
anyway,
I always had this idea to put up 1, 2, 3 minute videos tops, but not until this year did I start with the Facebook videos every day. And then once
you do them every day.
Every day I put a couple up, and then what happened was the Mets. My wife's like, you're such a maniac with the Mets. And you always say they need a fan perspective. Well, why don't you do one after each game? On every game? You should be a freaking you're better than half the baseball analysis out there. Well, just as a fan. And I started watching the first game, like, you know what? And they were up against the Nationals, and it was Bartola Colon, big, fat, 300-pound, against Max Scherzer, who they just signed for $400 million, and he's the new god of baseball.
Yeah.
And the Mets beat him, and it was like they won the World Series. And that video right there, like, we took down Max Scherzer. And I went off going, $100 million. Yeah, we beat you. We beat him. We didn't even start pitching you. And I just went off. And then the next day, people were like, did you go on the Mets website? They got your video.
Oh, wow.
I went, really? And then I'm looking like 100,000 people watch that? Does that mean does views mean they watched it, or what does that mean? View? Does that mean they just tapped it? Like what does that mean?
Yeah.
And then I started doing every single game, and there was a stretch where I would lecture players. So I would sit down during the whole Matt Harvey thing. I sat down like Matt, and I'm talking to him like I'm sitting next to him talking to him. And some of them were, people only see the highlights and they only see the ones they want to see. But this has been every single game.
Every game you had to do one.
If you told me this was lightning in a bottle, bro.
Yeah.
Even at one point, SNY, the Mets channel, asked me to come up, do a half an inning.
Yeah.
Right? So I went. So I go.
Were you freaked
now,
out?
Jimbo would tell you, like, there's certain things, you with Ozzy or whoever, there's certain if you met, maybe Troy Aikman goes, come over to the house, you flip.
Sure.
Like, I don't even care about actors or whatever. I'm going to go in the broadcast booth with Ron Darling and Keith Hernandez. Well, I get in the booth, they're like, oh, wow, and they're talking to me and whatever. And they go, all right, so the first pitch, as soon as I put on the first pitch, Granderson's up, he hits a home run. Right. And I'm going, so there we go, everyone's going, what do you say, Grant? And in my ear, they're going, chip, 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 let Gary Cohen call let Gary Cohen call the pitch. And I just kept talking.
Could we play that? I remember this. It was hilarious.
And I just lost my mind. Yes, that's it.
Wait, let's play this. Watch this.
Right, man, we're looking for another walk from our man Candy. Oh, we'll take that, though. That's far. And the Grandy man. Put Breuer in the booth, and we're developing runs. Take your time, Candy. Take your time. Wait, watch it gets goofier. Let's see what I say. I rehearsed this.
May I just recap, boys, that the seas are nice and calm, and the wind is perfect because DeGrom is sailing tonight.
Their headset, they're saying, let Gary make it.
And that whole time they're yelling in my ear. yelling in my ear, Jim, let Gary talk, let Gary call the shots.
You just grabbed it and ran with it.
I had no choice. I flipped out. Come on, man. You put me in a booth, first pitch homer. What am I supposed to sit
How
there?
long were you in the booth for at that point?
Well, they kept me in a whole inning.
But, I mean, were you already talking before that?
No,
that was
just
literally how you
started right there. That's what I'm saying. Everything I've done with the message here is lightning in a bottle. There was one point. This was great too. I know you're not going to have this one, but that same day,
yeah,
they did a pregame interview with me, right? So it's me and Nelson Figueroa. So I'm sitting there doing and they go, "Who's your favorite Met of all time?" I went, "You know what? It's really hard, but I'm going to put Mookie up there as one of Mookie. There's something about Mookie." And all of a sudden, while I was on the field, Mookie's to my left. And I just turned and went, did you guys plan this? And they're like, no. And I totally geeked out. I'm like, I gotta go. Can I give him a hug? And I left the chair. I went running out to him. I almost started crying. I was so excited. So it was,
I was in the broadcast booth for the Yankees once when I was a kid. It was right after Thurman Munson died, and I was broadcasting. And I said, boy, the captain will be missed. But we all thought it would have been Billy due to a drunk driving accident. And they asked me it didn't go well. They said, we got to keep it on the game.
I love that you grabbed the home run call.
Took it over, man. I couldn't help it.
That video went everywhere. I've been following these videos. You kind of got me interested in the Mets a little bit through your videos.
Yeah, but if you told me...
Oh, God.
They would... And there's like... There's one or two Met fans that literally like, you fucking poser. Remember these fucking videos 8 years ago?
Of course.
What are you, the fucking superhero of fandom? What are you, the fandom police? I really... I've lost so much respect for about 10%, maybe more of the whole population of humanity.
It's
beyond dopes. They're frightening. I see why maniacs. Why there's maniacs.
It's
They're
way
retarded.
more than 10%, unfortunately.
It is way more.
I've known you for over 20 years, and you've always talked about the Mets. Always.
The Cowboy booth was cool. I didn't stay in there for long. It was very brief.
And what happened?
There was a field goal. It was many years ago. Lynn Elliott, when he was kicking for the Cowboys. I was up there, and he was going to kick the game-winning field goal. And I said, I was always a Raphael Septien fan. Too bad about those accusations of child molestation, huh? And they were like, why would you mention that?
They weren't happy about it?
No, not at all.
That's weird.
Yeah.
You think they want to be truthful?
Yeah, same thing in the Yankee booth. Again, I was a little bit older, and they just didn't go for it. It was, I think it was Cecil Fielder hit a home run. Oh. And I think John Sterling's like, it's gone! And I'm like, John, not to interrupt the fun, but Mel Hall's in prison for rape for 45 years. Can't believe it. I'm like, that's what we should be focusing on.
Nice. So these videos do incredibly well. We'll link up Breuer's Facebook
Crazy.
page. What's your biggest one? I see one that's
hands
1.8.
down, that's the biggest one.
Mets recap. That's the one I think we played.
I
the
lost
other night.
my mind.
Can we play this again?
I'm
for the
borderline
people?
embarrassed because now let me talk about this.
I remember it made us a little uncomfortable when we played
Right.
the first time.
And that's fine. I don't care. It's fine. I got to live it.
There's some fandom there.
No. First of all, since you're out of the loop, I need to put you in emotionally in this. All right?
I hear you.
We're going against the Dodgers, who they say no one's going to beat them in a 5-game series. Now, the second game of the series, the Mets are beating God. 20-3, Greinke. He's had the best ERA in history, and you're not going to beat him. Well, we're beating him. And the 7th inning, it's 2-1 game, inning-ending double play, and Tejada, it was illegal, whatever. He gets tackled and his leg broken.
Yes,
and
that I know.
That changed that's it. Game's now they lost the game.
Right.
So because of that, you take that scenario out, the Mets sweep the Dodgers. But now we're in a predicament where it's the last game. We're home against the Dodgers. We're now losing against the Dodgers. And you still got to get past this savage on the mound not only do they get past this savage in L.A., and they cut all the retards in the crowd, like go Utley, and Utley comes up in the 9th inning, and they're let's go Utley. So the fuming that's going on, and also I probably had an entire bottle of wine in my system. Hands down. Hands down. There was 4 of us in the room, and we polished at least 5 bottles of wine.
So you're good for at least a bottle of that.
So, and from the 3rd inning on, I never sat down. I just paced like a tiger watching the game. You understand? It's like watching my kids. This is like, and this is what I said in life. I don't care. I'm not going to act like a guy that's been on TV or here, and I don't care. You're not going to take my fanhood away. Now, this is a little uncomfortable because, I go psycho. But you know what? When the camera's off, this is who I am when I'm watching the Mets.
Oh, I believe that.
So, so whatever.
All right.
But this turned into 1.8 million views.
1.8. I don't want to accuse you of like playing it up to the camera. I know this is you when the camera's not rolling. Of course.
There's nothing wrong with being so excited. I made a video when '96 when the Yankees finally won the World Series against the Braves.
And what happened?
That was huge.
I made a huge video where I was like, they have outscored their opponent. They have bested their opponent, and I said that for 11 minutes, and it went crazy. Everybody picked up on it.
You said it for 11 minutes straight?
11 minutes. They have bested their opponents by outscoring them in the 9 innings allotted.
Allotted?
Yes.
Allotted.
And you know what? It's
let's play it.
I don't get it, but I get it.
All right,
I don't know.
Let's play it.
Jerry's! Come on! La Familia stands for Let's Go Mets! We took you down, LA! Chase Utley! Guess what you're chasing? Nothing! Nothing! And shame on you for Gary Cohen for putting down Daniel Murphy! Shame on you, Gary Cohen, for going on radio and putting down Gary Cohen. Daniel Murphy, MVP of the series. How about the Degrominator? LA's just been degrominated.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, LA. Let's go, Mets. One more round. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Yeah! Let's go, Mets, baby.
We got a wine glaze.
We'll see you Saturday, Cubbies. La Familia, which stands for 6 outs. 6 outs. And we'll see the Cubs on Saturday.
I see the wine in your eyes.
Oh, yeah, man. That was lit up. That felt good.
Are you feeling the pressure that you got to keep this going?
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. After, I'm like, do I really want to do this all next year, too?
You might have to tap out.
Nah. I'm in.
All in.
Yeah, I'm in.
Not to steal your thing, but now I'm going to do a few Met videos, too. We'll see how they go.
You want to try one, maybe?
No, I'll do it after the win. It's got to be exciting, you know?
I get it. You should do one as Chip.
Yes.
Oh, there's a lot of them out there. You know. So, yeah, I was nuts.
This is taking up all your time, this Mets thing. What else have you been up to?
I've done it on stage, too. I was in Chicago when there's been times I'm on stage and it's the middle of the show and I tell them, like, listen.
I got to make my Mets
I got to make my video. You can boo me all you want. It's fine, but I'm making the video anyway. So I'd finish a bit and then I'd look at my phone. Like, all right, so he's sending. And then yeah, I've done it from stage from a bunch, too.
That's awesome. Oh, my God. What else you been up to, Breuer, since the last time we saw you?
Touring, and getting ready for next year.
Europe
and, Atlantic City and this and that. And
where in Europe are you going?
I can't even pronounce half the places.
No kidding.
No, it's like...
have you ever been to these places before?
Last year I did the tour.
And it did well?
Yes, I told Jimmy should go there because they all know him.
Actually. I was...
Opie and Jimmy is huge over there. I told you last time I was there, I'm in freaking Oslo. And I went to they have all these rock metal bars over there. And I went in this metal bar when they have every metal lead singer as painted, and all they talked about, like, tell us about Opie, and tell us, and they're reciting all my bits when you did this and when you did that, and who's this guy and that guy, and every single country I was in. They wanted to know about Opie, and so they know.
Yeah, I was texting my agent yesterday. I'm like, I really want Australia, and he's already talking to a promoter in Australia. So I'm absolutely going.
That was the
start,
first
right?
place. That was the first place where I was blown out of my mind. The power of the internet, because I still talk to a guy who's a huge fan of yours, who's from Australia.
We get a lot of tweets from Australia for some reason.
Keith told me years ago. Keith Robinson told me years ago to try and go there. So I'm absolutely going there this year. I do want to do England. Guys like you and Bill Burr. You know, the way he talked about it, I'm like, yeah, maybe I'm being stupid and just America-centric or whatever. Like, why am I not going out and seeing these places? If they hate me, they hate me. Like, who gives a
They
fuck?
love the stand-up comedy, and they love it the way you view it. They're not. Matter of fact, I'm going to say some of their audiences are 10 times better than ours, because they get when the bit's over. They get when you're. I'd go over there and things I was doing throwaways here. They were like, like,
well,
wow,
people
really
always know when
stretching
my
this bit
bits
out.
are over. they always know when my bits are over because I do that whole thing where I bow after every bit. I'm really old school. I like to show appreciation.
I have the cards that say applause.
We did find one of the Chip videos. He's making his Mets videos as well.
Who?
Brewer.
This idiot
Chip,
guy who fucking tweets us. He's annoying.
It's worth playing though. He's
No,
making
it's
his
not,
own Mets
Chris.
videos. Maybe you inspired other people to make videos. I'm not sure, but
Oh, no.
it's quick. It's quick.
Right now, the fucking Mets are playing the baseball game, and they're doing kick and butt. Let's go, Mexico. Let's go, Mexico. Let's go, Mexico. And right now, he's up there at the plate, and the guy's going to throw the baseball at him, and he's going to wind up right there. He winds up, and he throws the motherfucking baseball. Looks to me like a strike, Not a viral video. You don't need to play any of those. Those are humiliating.
What about the one where he's wearing his
Who's
hat?
that?
Well,
Chip
it's
Chipperson.
another Mets video.
I don't want to watch that.
Oh my God!
I don't acknowledge him.
You don't acknowledge him.
Wow, look at a nursing home. Right before they feed him the yogurt. You ready for yogurt, Stan?
Yeah, he's a real fucking creep.
How's the family? How's the daughters? How's everybody doing? How's mom? You got
Mom is crazy recovery.
No,
she's normal, dude. It's the craziest thing in my life. She's 100% normal.
100% normal.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow. So where is she? Is she still in a home?
Yeah.
But normal.
Yeah. She's 90 and walks around like she's 90, but she's back 100%. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Mind is completely there again.
I mean, we heard the sound clips here.
When you brought in that tape of your mom basically tapping out.
I thought she was tapping out. I was buying plots.
Oh my God.
I got the whole funeral together, ready to go, and then she's 100% back to normal. It's freaking
Was there a
weird.
medication change or something?
There was, well,
A
there was
urinary
little bit
infection.
It was urinary
That'll
infection.
makes older people go nuts for a while.
For a while. It's not like just 2 weeks.
No.
It's 6-7 months. And so it took that long to recover, but she couldn't even walk. So she physically couldn't even get up a walk for months and months and months because she doesn't know how to wipe her cooch. She's too old to wipe. At the end of the day, it's because she's too old to wipe her clown outfit. That's it. That's what it comes down to. You don't clean yourself, and then it poisons your brain. That's what it comes down to.
Oh, I see what you're talking about.
Seriously.
Yeah. So if she kept her cooch clean, she might not have had that urinary infection.
That's why older people need someone else to clean them because they don't clean their donkey. Guess what? The ammonia goes up to your brain and just triggers and you're gone.
And those people working in those places, even if you find a good spot, they don't want to be cleaning.
They don't want to
old lady
clean
cooch.
your. Yeah, not only that, they're cleaning your hole out, your pie hole. That's their job, dude. I used to do it with my dad.
I know,
It was like sticking the glove up. All right, just put a mask on so I don't gag too hard. And the fingers going in his butt. I gotta grab his turd out.
Oh my!
Good morning,
God.
everybody. Good morning, everybody. How's that yogurt in your mouth right now?
Nice vegetable juice cleans you out. I have a beet, carrot, kale,
little spinach.
It fucking nothing makes me shit better.
That's a rocket launcher.
Large veggie juice, fucking it
And you
cleans
piss
out.
out your butt when you do that, no?
Yeah, when I pee, it's like red. It's like
Yeah.
it's alarming at first. You're like, oh, am I bleeding? And then you're like, oh, I had a lot of beets and carrots and stuff. But it really does clean you out well.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I do vegetable juices every day, and my logs are still solid.
Oh, I'll have solid logs, but I mean, it makes you shit.
But it gets out all nice.
Yeah, it's almost like I said, I think yesterday, like you get a whole bunch that are really nice, and then on top, there's just that part where your system couldn't handle it. You know what I mean? It's like they just open the hatch.
It's the great finish.
Yeah.
It's the encore.
Yeah. Bunch of logs with a
You know you're
fucking-
done. Nothing better than knowing when you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing else is coming out for
There's
a while.
a good pork chop and a nice shit. That's a good day.
Yeah, especially
That's
at the
a
same
good
time.
day. Yeah. It's not, I'm at that age too when you just drop a nice deuce. It feels so good to get up. Go, God, it's fucking just cleared myself
I'm clean
out.
now.
Yeah.
I'm nice
Feel
and
good.
clean.
Feel
I'm
lighter.
empty. I'm empty.
Yeah.
The
I like
feeling
that
of being
feeling.
empty.
Hop right on the scale. Ooh, big boy.
Your daughter's dating and all that? How old are they? I love asking the ages every time you're in.
The older one's 16. There's nothing I can
God,
do.
you lost that one.
There's not-
You lost that one, right?
Yeah, she's gone.
You'll see her on the other side.
Yeah, and
when will she come back? You think around 22, 21? I've heard this, by the way, because
probably 22.
I got 16s in my family, and the same thing. They're like, "Yep,
me and her,
she's fighing the war now." We'll see her on
she's
the other
totally
side.
fighting the war. She lets us know every day. I'm going to college in Africa. And if I can't go there, I'm going to Australia.
Yes.
I'm out of here. Like, oh, all right. Well, you know, that's not how it works out. This house is the worst. Yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard, ain't it? They live in a castle.
Doesn't she look at the Mets videos? That's a fine house they live in.
It's meaningless to them.
It's a wonderful house.
That doesn't mean anything to them. It means nothing to them. They walk around going, I need more jeans. Oh, okay. Well, you better get a job. And let's tell you, she's, me and the oldest one are very close. And I have a feeling when she goes to college, I'm going to visit her a lot. And I'm slowly going to let her into some of Dad's escapades. And we will bond tremendously as time goes. She wants to jump into madness. She has a hard time monitoring what madness is. And a lot of people her age are madness.
Would she like to be a stand-up, you think?
No. Furthest thing.
But she just wants to jump into madness.
She's a singer. Yeah, she wants to. She always feels left out. So there's a party going on. I need to be in a party. Listen, you're 14, 15, you don't need to be in a party. You don't understand. No, I do understand. I know. I'm a dick because I say no. But now, I let the leash out. She's the boy. At this stage in the game, it's don't get pregnant and don't get addicted. Once they hit 16, don't get pregnant, don't get addicted. That's all you.
What a nightmare.
That's where you're at. That's where you're at. Don't get pregnant, don't get addicted to anything. Please.
What
I'm begging you.
Nightmare.
Yeah. Unless it's smiling. Get addicted to smiling.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with that.
And warm hugs.
The middle one is the clown. The middle one's a little me. At times, she's freaking hilarious. She does impressions, and she's just natural. She knows how to get out of trouble just from being funny.
Mm-hmm.
But the oldest one is, she's. There's. You ever see was it a commercial when the two rams run?
Sure.
And they smash each other's horns. That's my wife and the oldest one. And you can hear the echo for every time I go away. Even today, I guarantee you, by the time I get home, you need to talk to your daughter. I wish I had $1 every time I heard that. You need to talk to your daughter. Great. I go on the road. I cry on the road. Like, oh, I miss my baby. What am I doing? Let me call up. I want to talk to my. Hey, hon, how's it? You need to talk to your daughter. This bitch comes in here and she bitches it up and she bitches. I'm going to kill it.
I got to send her to boarding school.
All right.
No, you think I'm just mean all the time?
I didn't say that. I'm just saying I called because I miss the family.
Hey, you ain't missing nothing because you got to talk to your daughter.
It's
tough.
It's really tough.
I've
and you got to
heard.
be careful with taking sides. You don't want to take sides. That's a big, you should be there. Are you there yet?
God, no. I got a
You're not
5 and
there with the taking side. How old's
5 and a
Hudson?
3.
Oh, wait.
I mean,
most divorces happen
right
when the kids start hitting 7 to 10 years old because you now realize, oh, this one's a little psychotic with the way they run the ship here with this kid, and then they don't like the way you run the ship, and then that starts.
Oh.
That's where a lot of divorce.
relationship.
Yeah, you don't like the way you don't bond together. Like, I don't think the kid needed to get belted for eating too much ice cream. That might have been over the top.
How dare you support the kid and not back me up?
Well, I don't back up lunatics.
How dare you call me a lunatic?
That's not my predicament, but that's what happens.
My
man.
parents told me that when I was 7, it actually strengthened their marriage. They said because they were fighting, and then they finally came to the agreement together that I was a delight. And they bonded over the fact that I was so delightful.
Yay! Yay!
Yay, Jimmy! Yay! Yeah. So.
My mom
it's hard being a
would
parent.
yell at my dad for that very thing, like because he couldn't take our side and all that shit.
Yes, and I know
And he just wanted to go through his life without any problems. So he did not get involved. So my mom ran the ship, and it was brutal at times.
Well, that's what happens.
And when I would go to my father, and go, oh, come on, we got her this time. We got her, red-handed. And then he would look at me and go, she's mentally ill. And I'm like, holy fuck. But that doesn't make what just happened okay.
Correct. And I've noticed.
My voice is cracking because of this.
I've noticed I got to be careful how I talk to Dee if I'm in a battle with her, because the kids watch and look for weaponry. Because if they hear me say, Dee, you're having a problem with communicating. If you communicated with me better, you talk to me as if you're talking at me. And then literally a day later, I'll hear
Matt, you're talking at me, and if you ask me to please clean my room instead of coming in here and going, clean out your room like I'm a prisoner,
I'm like, hey, easy. Only Dad's allowed to talk like that. Only Dad's like that.
You treat Dad the same way.
And part of you wants to go, that's right. You see? It's not just me, you nut. But you then see you're in a predicament. You're like, no, yeah, that was a different war. That was a different war.
Inside, you can't lie. You're a little happy that it came out that way.
That was the war of Daddy and where he puts his shoes. That war's long over. This is a whole different war now. This is the invasion of the bedroom here.
Oh, your shit is so great. I could listen to you all day.
It's
you break this stuff down well.
This is what it is.
And are you okay with the boys coming to the house? Are they coming to the house?
I don't have a choice. She's been literally since 14, like a cat, just spraying neighborhoods. Then you hear them at night. There's nothing I could do except for go, listen, he's gonna. You know what the best was? I wish I videotaped this, because again, I break everything down truthfully. Dee,
here we go.
Dee's into God and the Lord.
Yes,
okay,
we know that.
So she sit there and she's like, do you think the Lord would want someone to, he wants you to stay, until you're married? I'm like, listen, it's not realistic. Here's the deal. And so everything we would talk about when it came to sex and blah, 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 D would refer to, God wants things this way. I'm like, listen, what God wants is one thing. What the boy wants, he's staring at your ass, okay? And he don't want anything. Look, if a guy, make sure he's into you. Make sure he's not the aggressor. And, we just kept breaking it down. I would say, listen, don't ever stand behind a dumpster alone. sucking face. Don't ever. It leads to disaster. People could be videotaping. So yeah, it was like. It was good cop, bad cop. I was the real cop. Like, listen, he's going to watch those fingers, watch this, he's going to come at you at all angles. And make sure he's into it. You don't know if he wants a videotape. Make sure don't ever let someone tape you. Ever, ever. Even you. Don't ever videotape. That's there forever and ever and ever.
And people lie and they say that and make sure she knows that Snapchats are recovered all the time.
Oh, dude, I told her that too. I'm like,
people always they can hack Snapchats. They don't disappear.
Of course they don't.
No, they don't ever.
Of course
go,
there's a way of getting that shit.
Well, I do have an FBI friend, and he said none of that is. It's all retainable. Sure. Everything's retainable. So I tell him, like, listen, and I remember her. Here's the thing too. Thank God. Teenagers think you're dumb as rocks. And there's a lot of parents that are dumb as rocks. Thank God my kids aren't street smart. They're nowhere near street smart.
Wouldn't that be good, though? To be street
no, it's good.
I would think it would be good to be street smart.
I want them to be street smart. Yeah. Yeah. But I'm all right being street smart. They're not ready to be street smart. Like my oldest one, my kids are not ready to be street smart. My oldest one's not ready to be. It's almost like in our industry where you're not ready for the big time. You get a manager going, he drops names, and you're like, oh God, me and Sylvester Stallone, and you should be doing movies, and you'll do anything because he's feeding you the bullshit. She's not ready.
Okay, gotcha.
For, but even in the party world, she's not. So first, I'll give you. We rented a place, and we rent places in the summer. And when we went there, they had a barn with their own. It was like redone with bedroom. I said, this would be great for the teenagers to hang out, and you can hang out here. I opened their fridge, and I noticed there was a bottle of vodka in there. Right, I'm like the people. That's their vodka. No one's really going to be in the barn, so I'm not worried about it. So the oldest one is really harping on, can I please have my new friends over? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, my new friends are coming over in a week. Can we stay in the barn? And I noticed Dee's not street smart. I know, like, she's really intent on something's going to go down. All right, they're going to try smoking, they're going to drink it. What's going to... And then one night she comes over, as her cousin was hanging out, and she's, Dad, it's like 10:30. Can we, from the main house, can I take this bottle of orange juice down to the barn? And I laughed as hard as you just did. Of course, yes. I laughed as hard as you just did. And she goes, what? I went, what do you want? Why would you want orange juice? Now, granted, she hates orange juice. So now I already know, like, are you kidding me?
It's hilarious.
Just for the morning. And I laughed. I went, no. And by the way, give me your phone. What? Because now I got intent. Now I have a search warrant. You just gave me a reason for a search warrant. Boom, give me the phone. And then, boom, I got everything right there. I'm like, oh, we're planning this and that and that. All right, tell your friends nobody's coming. Oh, my God, how dare you? You're the worst dad ever. You suck. And I said, well, let me explain. And then I got to give him the dad. Let me explain to you my position. I don't know any of these kids. Listen, granted, I partied. I did all this. But any of these, I don't know these kids. They come to the house. I'm renting a house. They start getting trashed, high, whatever goes on, I'm responsible. What if one of those parents then sue me because something happened because you planned the party and I didn't know? I'm responsible if you break something, one of you get pregnant, one of you OD, one of you now I got to send someone to the hospital because he doesn't know how to handle that. That's my responsibility. So you're putting me in a position, pal. And they don't think like that. They just think like you're ruining my situation.
Well, they think you're doing it because you're not fun. Right. Instead of realizing I don't want to wind up in court.
And that's the real reason.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in freaking... I don't know these kids. I don't need some rich parent going, my son was at your party and got sick from alcohol and I'm suing you now in civil court. What?
We had very similar situation this summer where one of my nephews wanted to stay at my house on the beach, and they wanted to use the house while we weren't there. And me and my wife were like, there's no fucking way.
No way.
But then my siblings, they're confused, like, why wouldn't you let them use your house? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, because I think they're at that age. I didn't know for sure, but they're about the same age as your daughter.
No way.
I'm like, I think they're at that age.
No
So
way.
no, there's no way. And
No
we have
way.
security cameras all over the fucking place. We're watching from New York, them trying to break into our house.
Wow.
And I'm like, this is no good. And they're like, well, we're just going to hang out front of your house. And, everything's going to be cool. But I don't understand why we can't use your house. And then I got people calling me, why can't they use your house? And then the next time we went out there, I dug up their fire on the beach and found the evidence. That's why.
Exactly.
That's why.
What'd you find?
Beer cans.
And again, it's all right.
And it's the same point you just said. It's like, it was more my wife was waking me up to this. Like, look, man, if anything happens in the fucking house, you think they're not going to give a fuck.
They don't care.
They're going to fucking sue the shit out of you. So you can't be the cool uncle is what it comes down to, or the cool father.
And they're smoking, and now your couch is burnt, and
But out of curiosity, I'm like, I went out there with a fucking shovel, like fucking Quincy.
Yeah.
And I come back with all the evidence, and I throw it on a table for my wife. Like, all right, we did make the right decision here.
Yeah, you don't need them being there smoking reefer sticks.
But it's not the old days when they were a lot younger. It's like, yeah, of course, be the cool uncle and stuff. No, they're at that age where they're doing exactly what we did at their age.
Right. But
trying to push limits and trying to get a little buzz going.
I went in a park. I never did in someone else's house. I saw what my
Same
parents
fucking thing, though, man.
Yeah.
Same thing. And then I sorry, just to finish the story. So then we decide they're going to be out front of my house, and we watch all the kids come with beer, by the way, because we have the security cameras everywhere. So I'm like, oh, all right. And then they're trying to get into the house, and then one's pissing on my neighbor's house, and then
right, there you go.
And then I'm getting
You don't
so
need
now
that.
I have to explain why they have a big wet spot on the side of their house, and then I get a text from I'm trying to protect the innocent, but basically a text like, hey man, we have a girl with us and she really needs to use the bathroom, so could you tell us where the key is so we could go in and use the bathroom? And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, and if your dad or anyone else is going to get pissed at this, I don't know what to tell you, because I know exactly what I would do if I got the key to the house. Then I'm going to look around and see what's around.
It's on, and you don't
it's
know.
On, and we got all those dumb faggy grapefruit beers and everything else in the house that they could have grabbed.
Yeah, and next thing you know, they're knocking over your tchotchkes. I would hate to have a bunch of teenagers in my house touching my shit, knocking things over.
Yeah, they're going through the underwear drawer. You don't know what's going down.
Absolutely. I'm wondering why all mine have the holes cut out of the back. It's a long story.
Right. Someone's banging in the guest room, but I don't need that.
I felt
Gooping up the place.
I felt bad that I dug up the beach fire, but I had a curiosity. The curiosity got me. I'm like, I gotta know.
You had to.
No way.
And because we
Did they know you could film them?
Probably not. Dumb as rocks.
I don't
Kids,
know.
like I said, they just got their eye on the prize. They're like dumb burglars.
And it looked like they were coming with beer. I should explain that further, but then I'm like, maybe it is soda. They're sort of they're sort of at that weird age. It could maybe still be soda.
Sure.
So I wasn't totally sure, but it certainly looked like beer. And then and then digging up the fire, all these burnt cans.
Yeah. Now, if they like you said. Now, when I was growing up, of course we partied. I didn't really. My daughter asked me too. She's like, "When'd you party?" I went, honestly, I was a late bloomer. I was 17. I was 17 the first time I really even had a beer or anything. And so, but I had so much respect for my parents and their house. I would never, ever think about trashing their house. And I was blown away that people would trash their parents' house. So we would do it in the street, or we go to a park and hide in the park or hide on the beach. Like I would
have got murdered bringing people in my house. It would never have occurred to me. A prostitute or something like that, maybe one person, but a whole bunch of people drinking and get the fuck out of here. Never.
We had all-out parties when my parents would go out up to the Poconos for a quick weekend. And then Sunday, we're just in a complete panic trying to get the house back together.
Yeah, no, that's horrifying. I would never do that.
It was hard.
No way.
And then we thought we were going to get away with it, but then there's like, I don't know, let's say 20, 30 cars parked on a main road, like a
everyone
busy
knows.
road, and you're like, they know the neighbors. The neighbors are going to say something, obviously. But this is all stuff you learn after, many years later. Right. As a teenager, you're just clueless to all this shit.
Right.
You just think you're going to get away with it.
I threw a rave in my parents' house.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I only allowed 6 people to come in, and it went from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., and you had to keep the noise down in the basement. And there was soft drinks, coffee.
Vanilla pudding.
Yeah, it was nice. A little snack.
Fuck, that was
crunchy Oreos to put in the pudding.
We got a break again. You're sticking around, Breuer?
Yeah, I'm not going
nice. What do you got? What could we promote for you?
I don't know. I just started a podcast. It's not.
It's about
very...
fucking time, man. That you're back doing that shit.
I know. I don't. Yeah. So I started a podcast. It's very personable. It's not very funny. It's whatever. It's
once a week. What are you doing? A couple times a week?
Pack on.
Like once a week, maybe. I'll probably do one today.
All right. Where do they go to get this?
Everywhere.
Facebook and your
I pay. I'm very heavy on Facebook.
Right.
And I just started tweeting. So even the tweeting I don't even get yet.
We've been doing it for like 7 years now.
I know. I don't. I just started this year. I don't know what I'm doing.
It's good. It's a good place to find love and really nice people.
And that's
sadly, it's a horrible place.
I've already gotten some wars with people, and I go, why am I doing this?
I don't know why. It's a horrible place, but it's great to promote your shit. So it's like, it's kind of like a catch-22.
I will say I've met some great fans on Facebook and Twitter, and I end up seeing them at the shows, and
they're out there.
Yeah, and they bring gifts, and then I bring them gifts, and we just that's the part I love about it.
Yeah, it could be a very good thing, but
yeah, there's 10% of just
there's
really
a lot of evil,
psychotic, dark,
a lot
humans.
of evil out there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
All right, Jim Breuer's here, just killing it for us.
Hey, Paramount, you can go to Paramount.
What about it?
In Long Island? I got 2 shows in February. It's in February, though.
Oh, okay.
It's February.
I think that was the last time I saw you. I went to that. That's
Yes.
a great venue, man. I say it every time. I know it's in my hometown, but it's one of the best venues I've ever been at.
I'm booking that gig. I'm actually going to do the Paramount in next year.
It's a great place.
You'll love it.
It's a good gig.
Have you played the 930 in Washington? 930 Club?
DC?
Yes.
No.
Oh, that's the venue. That's like the Paramount, but in DC.
Okay.
Great venue.
Wonderful. All right, and Jimmy's going to be in Albany this weekend at Comedy Works.
Yes.
Make sure you get your tickets.
Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff coming up. Erie, Pennsylvania, just a shitload. Charlotte, which is one of my favorite gigs.
That Erie room's where? You playing a theater or that?
It's a comedy club. It's like
that's a great place.
I've never done it.
Junior's
They're
last
good
laugh,
guys.
I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Great room.
Real buzz in Erie because I'm arriving.
Yeah.
There's a real buzz in the town.
It's a great room.
Good. Yeah, everyone says it's nice.
You picked the perfect time to go up there, too, November.
Oh.
They've already had 9 inches of snow in Syracuse.
I know.
I think overnight or something. They're already up to 9 inches of snow in the Syracuse area.
Good Lord.
Fuck. All right, more Breuer. Stay there. My old friend. God, we're getting old.
Feels good, though.
Feels good. It's all right, right?
My nuts ain't sagging yet.
A hint of a gray pube, though? You got a gray pube yet?
What?
A gray pube. I got one I have to pluck.
You know what?
I got one that I pluck.
I might. I have to.
Oh, you'll know.
You know what? I
You'll
was
know.
1970s up until this year.
Really?
Yeah. I was 1970s and I went,
my God.
you know what? This really, I'm going to have to tighten up here.
How bad? All the way up the sides?
Yeah.
Oh, my
like
God.
Batman Winged Bandit. So,
One of the things I learned in Boston.
I got rid of all that now.
In Boston radio, there was a sales guy named Crazy Jim who would show his penis all the time, which was weird. He would come
It's
in.
unacceptable.
He would show me and Anthony.
Sober?
Yes, me and Anthony his penis a lot. I forgot who the wrestler was, but they had a life size cardboard thing that was in the studio. We were doing a lot with wrestling back then. I forgot who it was. He would stick his dick through. It would make us laugh though. But the one thing he taught me is like you got to trim that shit down. I think he goes all the way like Jimmy. Nothing. Absolutely.
Nothing.
He had nothing. But then I realized, you know what? All right, it's time to trim this shit.
Same here. Yeah.
But you only started this year?
Yeah, I only started this year. And So, yeah. Hey, man.
You feel a little strange doing it for the first time.
I feel very strange.
You're like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be
It's
doing
bizarre.
this. But it feels a lot better to have
Feels
nice,
so much
nice,
better. The shower's quicker.
smooth balls, right? you smooth balls. You got a little landing strip? What do you got going on? What did you leave?
No. It's just super, it's like a nice cut lawn.
It's tight.
Yeah, it's a nice lawn.
Okay. Not
Good
too
lawn
wide.
and garden.
Not too wide on the sides, though, right?
Yeah, no, I gotta get, that does bother me. And that's what happened. It started going crazy.
Well, they get like.
I'm getting more hair. I'm getting chest hair. I never had chest hair.
Really?
Yeah, I'm getting long gray chest hairs.
Yeah, I go.
It's weird.
I go for the
creepy.
summer. I go for the summer shave down every year. Once, sometimes.
Wait a minute. So you shave?
Well, like my arm hair I'm not even joking, would be 4 inches long if I let it grow. It just keeps growing. It's the weirdest fucking thing.
No,
I got
but
I got knuckle hair, so I just not down to skin, but I give it a nice shave down.
All right, let me
That's why
ask
it's called
something.
a shave down.
All
Shave
right.
the chest down. Armpits once a year.
I've never done my armpits.
Armpits once a year.
Do you shave your armpits really?
Once a year, yeah.
Don't they itch?
Feels good.
Yeah, but does it itch?
No, because
You don't itch.
That hair is very soft.
Let me ask you down there.
Yeah.
You go all smooth?
No.
Oh, I'm totally bald.
Right. Does it itch? Don't
No.
it itch though?
No, when I shaved it when I was 15 with a fucking Bic, it hurt.
Ah, jeez.
Yeah, I know. It came back and it was fucking horrendous.
Yeah.
But now
But
I
didn't
shave
itch?
it. No, I shave every day with a fucking Mach 3, and my fucking dick is very smooth. Does not itch at all.
You never cut?
No, it's like you shave just slowly down and just be careful.
I've cut my ball
Underneath
back.
and everything?
Well, I don't have that much hair. I shave along the bottom of the shaft. There's a teeny bit, but very little. I don't have that much hair on my dick.
Oh God! The fact that a blade would be near there already makes me uncomfortable.
You get used to it. I could do it fucking. I could do it.
I got lazy with the electric razor, and I tried to like electric raise my balls.
I have such a phobia with my.
And I got all sorts of nicks, and realized, okay, I gotta.
Yeah, I would do it.
I gotta like cut it with some scissors if it goes too long. Now with the 2 kids, sometimes it goes a little long. I don't have as much time, and then get it down a little bit with the scissors, and then I take the razor to it like Jimmy. So you don't have smooth balls.
No.
Oh, you're missing out.
Let me tell you something.
And then you powder them up all nice.
No. You powder your balls
every once in a while. Yes.
Oh God.
It's nice. It feels good, but you got to keep with it, or if it grows back too much, then you'll get the itch and the scratching.
Yeah, no,
going.
I can't. It's too much work.
I just think it's hilarious that you only started that this year.
Yes. Yes.
Just started trimming it.
Yes. Just started trimming this year. It really started bothering me. I'm like, this thing's a mess. I gotta take care of this. Is out of control.
Yeah.
This is a mess. It's
got hair growing halfway up the shaft.
Yeah, it's just out of
Gotta
control.
hold
I
it up
couldn't even
and-
see it anymore. I couldn't see it anymore.
Oh my God.
It's like looked like a little appetizer hot dog thing. It was all
Pig in a blanket?
Yeah, pig in a blanket, but the blanket was the hair.
It's all about presentation.
Like a little peekaboo out of the forest.
You can make
little deer stick his head out, make sure there's no predators around.
You could gain some fake length and girth if you keep it all nice.
Well, that's really the reason I did it.
It makes it look a little bigger, a little nicer.
Yeah, that's
Makes
exactly.
That's the only reason I did.
It's a better
I need
presentation.
to look a little longer. Give myself a boost.
Yeah.
Just started this year.
That's great, man. You're going to get addicted to it being nice and smooth. Girls like it, too. They give you a head, and it's nice and smooth.
I'm out of that game.
Well,
I'm out of that game.
Blowjob is still good, though.
Well, I agree, but I'm you have a variety.
Okay.
I have,
As you're married.
I'm locked in.
You're married, man.
I'm locked in. 22 years. Warrior.
Happily married, man.
Yes. Warrior.
So you are a warrior.
Beast.
Speaking of the wife, because you mentioned on this show, so many women were calling during that last break. We couldn't get to them because you were just killing. They all want to know how she's doing.
Great.
Then you got other women calling and saying, I started my treatment at the same time Breuer's wife started her treatment for breast cancer.
Oh, wow.
She's doing all right?
Yes. As a matter of fact, it made me, she's doing great. Her hair's growing in. She looks like a hot Annie Lennox.
Okay. All right.
Super. And she's really, really good. Right now, life is extremely well. We're riding on a high. So
Good.
it's been kicking ass since June. Her excitement is kind of building into me. I'm not going to lie. You know, I go into little, it doesn't seem like I do, but I'll go into little lapses of I don't want to say depression, but numbness, where I feel like I'm just walking around like a zombie. Like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Where am I going? What's going on in life? And her spark of life has really energized me the last couple months. Right. She's given me life, and she's given me strength too, man. That sounds corny or anything like that, but once in a while I have to sit back and really think about what she went through. I mean, it was nutso, man. They should just be up front. The doctors are like this. They're like, listen, you're gonna have side effects. All right, what kind of side effects? Why, rashes. They should say you're gonna look like a lizard. You're gonna get bumps, and people are gonna stare at you like you're creepy and from another world. And you're gonna look like a lizard. You're gonna have yellow eyes at times, and you're gonna be a mess. Can't go out. Your hair's gonna fall off. You're gonna look like a freak. But it's great. You'll be fine. It's just, it's almost, people are so, they don't know what to expect. If you're just upfront and honest and brutal, we were in Florida and she had these bumps all over her arms, and I was like, I have no clue. I don't
what
know
causes
what's going
it?
on. It's chemo. You don't know, it's a chemical something in there, and it's just
poison, really.
Yeah, you're just poisoning your body for a couple months or whatever. But something was sparked from there, and I'm literally just getting the ball rolling on how to. One thing I noticed, she watched funny videos 24/7, and a lot of them were animal videos. And I was not shocked, but I was surprised going into a lot of treatment centers where they don't have anything for the patients. They don't have, you're in a room and everyone's the lab rat and they're all hooked up and they're all sitting in a room getting juiced up, and they just they have videos or something of nonstop humor. Just anything, cats, dogs, animals, funny distraction. And she got addicted to watching hilarious videos. And that was a huge, huge help throughout it all. And that's what I tell everyone that asks, how's your, my daughter's going through this, my wife's going through it, my grandma, I just say, this is what my wife did. Just do that. Here's a link of what she started watching. And, it definitely helps. It definitely is a distraction. It helps.
There was animal videos though.
And funny cat videos, funny dog videos. There's some funny videos out there.
The squirrel, kind of mindless.
Squirrel water skiing.
Yes, they're mindless. You don't have to think. Just
laugh at it. It's
yes,
like, it's an animal.
One of the hardest I've ever laughed. Now I'm going to do it for chemo, but it depends. One of the hardest I ever laughed was I needed to just do mindless comedy. It was a couple of years ago. And I went, I'm going to go watch Jackass 3D. I need mindless. I don't think I ever laughed so hard in my life. I just said, there was a couple people in the audience, I freaking love mindless guys just dropping a turd on a place. I was howling. Yeah. Howling with lead. I had tears coming down my eyes. Half that movie.
That stuff will always be funny.
Always. So funny.
You don't have to overthink it sometimes.
They're behind a jet plane and 1,000 miles an hour tossing things in the thing and he's smashing a guy with eggs and a football. I was howling.
Sometimes just watching someone fall down. That's all you need.
It's hilarious.
That's all you need.
Hilarious.
That's why the Stooges are still translate. Right?
Yes.
They translate better than anybody.
Absolutely.
There's never going to be a time where a man taking a wrench and hitting another man in the face isn't funny. That's always funny.
With the boink.
Yeah, the savagery. When you watch those, like literally attacking each other with saws and fucking knives, it was so great.
It's hilarious.
Girders.
Hilarious. That's some of the hardest I ever laughed, too,
Yeah.
was watching the Three Stooges. Even Abbott and Costello, watching Abbott get slapped. I mean, Costello. Watching Costello get slapped by Abbott. It's so funny. So she's doing good. Everything's really
That's great to hear.
Yeah. And then I'm waiting for I'm waiting for the record next year.
Yeah.
The single comes out in January.
You're very excited about it.
I'm excited. I know what the expectation level is. So I feel like I'm the Mets. I'm the Mets.
Yeah.
Of this music project.
Is it done?
Yes.
Just about?
Yeah, no, it's done.
Finishing touches or done?
Just finished the kind of finishing touches. So
you know what?
7 songs are mixed out of the 10.
I forgot that you were working on that until you just mentioned it. But Jim's got a heavy metal album coming out. Basically,
it's
like
I
in the
wanted
vein of AC/DC, Metallica.
No, just Brian Johnson. Just Brian. I didn't want to ask anyone else.
No, I didn't say who was involved. Just in that vein, like that type of music.
It's Motley Crue, Metallica,
AC/DC,
Scorpions, AC/DC, except one song's. Yeah, there's a great riff that's very accept. It's very balls to the wall, and you'll know the song. But
and Rolling Stone magazine, Brian Johnson,
dude,
recorded vocals for your album.
Crazy.
That's amazing,
dude. He was
as a kid from Long Island. How amazing is that?
I still don't get it.
That's awesome.
When it's over, I'll go, oh yeah, that's right, that happened. And I tell you what, the guy who's doing it with me, this guy Rob Caggiano, he's in Volbeat. He was in Anthrax. He produced Last Anthrax. He's producing Volbeat. If this guy wasn't part of this whatever it turns into, it would be beyond a disaster. It'd be the hokiest, horrifying. I'm dying to let you hear one of the songs. No way. I can't. I just can't. No way.
You got it right on that phone.
Yeah, I can let you listen in the bathroom. No way.
You're going to grab our phones ahead of time?
I would get murdered.
And Breuer told the story of recording with Brian Johnson, which made Rolling Stone magazine. It was a nice hit for us. We'll link that again.
Can I tell you?
We'll link that again on Opie and Jimmy, our Twitter account.
When I come here, I forget you guys. You guys get quite a following, and you're linked into big time, whether you want to face it or not. And I left here just talking to you guys the way I always talk, like, yeah, Brian, like I'm talking to you in my yard, forgetting I'm on such a high platform.
Or whatever, yeah.
And by the time I got to I don't even remember what I was promoting. What the hell, my new special, maybe.
Probably.
Whatever I was promoting, I don't remember. By the time I got to my next event, which was an hour later, every question was, I had Brian Johnson's agent going, can I get a copy? I'm like, what is going on? How does everyone notice? Forgetting I even talked to you about it. It was all over the place. And I was like, oh my God, I got to be quiet. I got to be careful going on there.
Why, you weren't supposed to say anything?
Well, not that I wasn't.
At the time?
I didn't want to because nothing was mixed and nothing was done.
Right.
And I didn't want Brian to think, like, hey, I'm putting your name out there.
I hear you.
But yeah, I was just excited. I was an excited kid. Like, I just was with Brian freaking Johnson.
I'll say it again.
The singer. The guy.
I'll say it again. We had him on once, and it was such a good time.
He's the greatest
He is so
human
much fun.
being I've ever met. One of the greatest human beings I've ever met in my life.
It's almost like this AC/DC thing to him is sort of a side thing.
It
like,
is.
Oh, yeah, I kind of do. Oh, yeah, that's right. I do that.
I'm telling you.
And for everyone else, it's everything. But to him, it's like, oh, yeah, I do that, but I also do all this other shit.
Yes.
He loves his life.
He loves his life. He's such a great human. He's energetic. He's great. He's positive. Great World War II history. Just history. Like, Jimmy, you'd love him. You two would be best friends. Just he's such an intellectual.
Right, intellectuals tend to enjoy me.
No, seriously, I know when you get down and you're a brilliant guy. People, I mean, you poo-poo on that, Jimbo, but Jimbo's a brilliant guy.
A very smart man.
Very smart guy, and it's
well educated.
When he came in and he just drove himself an hour and a half and I told you, he's like, no, I don't wear headphones, and I want to do it here in the boardroom with a handheld mic like I'm in concert with the boys. Well, wait, don't you want to go in the studio? Nah, it's cheating, me son. I go, okay. And then I still see him as Brian, the guy, just the guy who makes me laugh, the guy we hang out. And then not until it was almost done, I'm like, holy crap, this is, wow, people are going to flip. But I don't want it to be that, although it's going to be that.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't wait for it to hit the airways and people going, Jim fucking Breuer? Of all people?
Of course.
That's who's doing that? Are you? How come he gets to? How come the guy from the Foo Fighters is? How come he? It's just that's what a great cool guy.
Did you get the
is.
guy from the Foo Fighters?
No, I wish. You kidding me?
Oh, okay.
No,
Oh, we had
I didn't
another
ask
exclusive.
anyone else. I didn't ask anyone. Brian asked me. I was gonna ask James and Rob Halford, and I'm like, you know what? Everyone wants part of their. If I'm gonna live and breathe on this thing, go out on your own and do it. I don't want
to be your thing, right?
It has to be my thing. I don't want it to become this guy and that guy, and you know what? And it's a little bit on their coattail. I don't want to be on the coattail.
I hear you. So, are you prepared to tour with these songs? If it hits?
Prepared. I'm touring. We're touring.
Definitely.
We
you
start,
got a band and everything ready to go.
We start in April and May with all the festivals, and then the fall we start on a hopefully headline tour.
How are you going to dress as the lead singer?
Here's what I'm doing.
I got to hear this.
All right, I thought about this. I thought about this a long time.
I figured.
I don't
think you could just be Breuer, stand-up Breuer. You got to do a little something.
No, and I can't be corny. Here's the deal.
Yes.
Here's the deal. At the end of the day, and my wife keeps. I guess say Dee was a huge help with this. She's like, Jim, don't try to be cool. Right. Don't try to be cool. You're gonna look like a corn dog. You're gonna be X'd right out. I went, you're right. She goes, just be yourself. And there was one day when I was in my garage, because I always go in my garage. I give myself concerts. 48. That's what I do. Oh God, no one's in the house. I put on my headphones and I go bonkers. Right. So, and I was looking at myself in a mirror. I went, look at this clown. I had gym shorts on, long gym shorts on, a T-shirt and a rock jacket, and with headphones. I went, this is the look. I gotta go. This is full blown. Not that it's not sticky, but it's a family. Listen, I'm a family guy. Grew up this music. This is my fantasy, and to me, it's got to stay the fantasy. Every concert, it's almost like a theater show. The family's gone. I go in the garage, and not until I put on my headphones and blah blah blah. That's when the event. It's guys my age, grew up with the music, and we're just living the dream for an hour and a half while nobody's home.
And you want to dress kind of like Dirk Diggler when he recorded in the Boogie Nights with that jacket.
and that's it. That's the way I got it. I can't wear a funky outfit, but now watch if I get a hit.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I might. Who knows? I just hope the leather pants and kangaroo don't show up. Look at Dirk Diggler.
There he
Yes.
is. So are you going to do comedy? And I remember you sort of talking about this.
Yes, I want to do.
So you're going to do a set, then you're going to break it down, and then come out and do music?
Yeah, the headline tour will be stand-up and the music together. And I'll probably only do like 20 minutes to a half hour. And then the festivals is just the music.
Of course.
Yeah, and then if they have comedy tents, I'll do the comedies too. So I'll be doing two or three different shows. So,
what festivals are you doing? Any of the big ones over there?
Every big one.
Holy shit.
And we'll start here.
Are you ready for this?
Oh, I'm ready.
How many people?
Oh, I'm locked. Dude, I already did this. This is why I know this is good. I started in 2011 in Germany at the Wacken Open Air Festival.
How many people?
Probably about 5,000 in that tent.
Okay.
And then the Metallica Festival. And I went, okay, if these people are staying for the whole set and the next day they come back and there's more people and they're waiting for 2 or 3 bits that I was doing with the music and they've never heard this before, if I give them something they can hear and go along to, this is going to be a monster. So I did Rock on the Range. So I already did the festivals, and I knew I can handle the festivals without even locked and loaded songs. So now that I know I can do that, I went, all right, we got to make it right. Let's get the right manager. Let's get the right producer. And that's what I did. I got a rock manager, 5B artist management, to like Slipknot. And so that, and then I producer. Once I got Caggiano and you hear him play guitars on this, oh my, Dude, I get goosebumps. And this guy was such a pain in my balls. He would do this. He'd go, listen, man, these lyrics, I can't put these lyrics to this song because you got amazing music. You're going to put these lyrics to it? Come on, you're better than that. Because there's one song, the single that's going to come out, which is hands down, you're not going to know it's me. You're just going to go, damn, wow, I like this. It took me 6 whacks in 3 months to finally go. And when I handed it to him, like, don't even tell me this ain't great, okay? I don't want to, this is freaking out. And he went like this. He takes it and he goes, yeah, this is good. Let's record that.
You know
That's perfect.
You got to come up with cool song names. Like a cool song name would be I Rock, You Rock, We All Rock. Huh?
Yeah, no, you know what? I'm chomping at the bit to let some songs are really doofy.
How about we debut one today?
I can't.
What's the name of one of the songs?
We go way back.
One song, the single is called Old School.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah, let's play that.
One funny song is called Raising Teenage Girls. There's a song called He's Gonna Be a Dick Tonight. So there's over the top silly stand-up mixed with the metal, and then there's full-blown just songs.
It's a solid songs that stand on their own.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
Wannabe.
I can't wait.
There's Wannabe. I love Wannabe. I love Old School.
You should write one called
Thrash. There's a song called Thrash.
Don't meddle in my life, but spell metal, put it in quotes, METAL, and put it in quotes.
And we're going to call the album, what do you call it? Defenders of the Vengeance, which, if you know...
It's a Judas Priest thing, yeah.
Thank you. So anyone in that world is going to go, all right, I get it. Okay, I get it. Yeah. Where if outside you're like, ooh, what is this all about? But every Priest fan is going to get, all right, I'm not trying to fool the world here. In the past, I definitely was trying to be cool. Hands down, this is the time of my life. I'm having a ball.
And so we'll start hearing it in January, right?
Yes. I'll try to get it to you earlier. Like I said, I can let you listen in the bathroom, bro. I can't. I just heard it yesterday too. I'm gonna start breaking things in my house.
You're itching.
I already bought my leather pants.
I think
kangaroo. I'm already sizing up kangaroos.
Let's slow down a little bit. Let's make a deal here. Give us 30 seconds.
30 seconds
of a song. He's thinking about it.
I'd have to set it up. To where it's
30 seconds.
A good solid 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Do I let you listen to the chorus? The chorus is a good hook. And that's another thing. I wrote every song knowing what I grew up with. I wrote it for a live show. I want people our age to be able to bring their kids and have the time of their lives. Right. And there's hooks, there's chants, it's going to be a party. It's going to be a party.
I can't wait.
All right.
I debuted when I did a song, and I debuted it here, yeah.
Which one? You've debuted many songs.
When I had Dave Grohl, he actually played drums. I did a cover of the record of the Edmund Fitzgerald, and Dave Grohl played drums on it. So it was really good. No guitar, no bass. It was just drums and piano.
Wow. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I must have been sick that day.
Was a big one.
I really want to hear that.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
Cool.
Awesome.
Brewer, you're not following this Trump thing, are you? I know you're not a big news guy.
Listen,
but
I know zero. And I mean zero.
Yeah, I know.
I tapped out of news and politics 2 years ago. It's the best time I ever had in my life. And I tell you what, as a bystander sitting in the wings watching the circus, I'm laughing my ass off.
Yeah.
I laugh my ass off watching people, what they believe and what they think and what they're talking about. It's brilliant. You don't realize the power of media and how much mind control it has until you completely tap out and go on the sidelines for a couple months, and then you realize like how crazy people look and what they believe and what they're saying, and they think they have their own thought process, and they don't. They're just saying everything they read and
they're just
everything
repeating shit they see on TV.
But they think it's their own interpretation, and quite frankly, It's brilliant and hilarious. And I still stand by this quote, and I've said a million times. Politics is no different than professional wrestling. It's the same thing as professional wrestling, except for lives are at stake. That's the only difference. It's the only difference is lives are at stake. It's professional wrestling. It's brilliant. It's freaking brilliant.
I'm paying way more attention this time around than I ever have. Because Trump is just saying whatever the fuck he wants, and it's frustrating everybody else.
Brilliant.
Of course,
it's brilliant. He has a no-lose situation.
And all these candidates, they're looking at him like, "How dare you? This is not how we do these things. We all understand that we talk in sound bites, and we don't really."
Brilliant. I don't know anything about. I swear on my life, I haven't watched a debate. I don't know anything he said. All I know is the minute I just hear. Like my daughter, okay? This is my daughter comes 16 years. Can you believe what Trump said? I'm like, are you kidding me? Tell me what the high schoolers are saying.
Yeah.
And then I had there's friends of mine that'll come in and they have to bring up politics. I'm like, I don't talk. Go ahead, tell me what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Then you have the guys. But I will say this about Trump. I don't know any. Again, I know zero, but I could tell. Do you remember when Obama first ran?
Sure.
And everyone said this. I would never vote for that. Oh, I'm voting for him. No one said they were voting for him because it was the wrong thing to do, or they thought they didn't want to be categorized as like I would never vote for. But when they got in the booth, they pulled that trigger. That's what's going to happen with Trump. I could see it a mile away because when I hear some of the people in my neighborhood talk, they like whatever Trump is saying. They believe it. He's tapped into the Fox News people, and the Fox News people are rabid. They're like baseball fans.
No, he's tapped
I mean?
more into people who hate politicians. I think
and that too.
I don't think he's specific enough for Fox News people. I think that that's more of a Ben Carson audience. A lot of them. I think Trump has tapped into people who just hate politicians, the way Bernie Sanders has for the other side.
Yes.
People who just don't, even though he's a politician, he just feels.
And
different.
I never realized how many people hated politicians until this Trump thing hit.
Everyone
I thought it
hates politicians.
I swear to you, I thought it was more of a minority of people actually hating the politician.
Aren't you tired of just
the same shit?
Everyone and people kept saying the guy that comes and speaks the truth is going to win. The guy, Jesse Ventura run when he won it. As I know you guys battle, but the reason he was great because he said what he wanted to say.
Absolutely.
And people like, this is refreshing. I don't mind if you make mistakes. He said, I'm not perfect, but this is the way it's going to be. And people stood behind him, and they went for it.
So you know a little bit about the Trump, even though you're not paying attention.
I know zero. I don't know what he said. I swear on my life, I have no clue what he said. I just know from all the clowns that are really into the politics. And at the end of the day, he's freaking brilliant. Let's not kid ourselves. Who runs the country? Businessmen. Don't kid yourselves. It's huge businessmen. He's a huge businessman. He loses, his business continues to grow. He wins. He's in a no-lose situation. Quite honestly, I'll make my prediction right now. You're not beating a mile away. It's Clinton.
Right.
I don't even know if she's running, but it's going to be Hillary. It's going to be Hillary. It's written in the books.
Buiden's getting in the race any second
Bush,
now.
Clinton, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Clinton.
Which Jimmy has said.
It's brilliant.
We get the same two choices
professional wrestling. Are you for this side? Are you for this side? This side believes we should kill the gays. Kill the gays, kill the gays, kill the gays. This side believes we should shut down the walls of America. Down with the Mexicans. I say we let everyone in. Make sure you get your T-shirts and contribution. With $100, you get a brand new shirt and you get to shake hands with someone that knows Billy Clinton. See you in 2016. It's freaking brilliant.
It's fun to
watch. Brilliant.
I'm loving all of this.
Yeah, you're free.
I'm loving it. Of
You're
course,
free.
Of course, our choices are made for us.
Well, at least we live in a country where you're allowed to say whatever you say, but if you say the wrong thing, trust me, we're going to hang you in the public.
Lawrence, you're glad you aren't living in this other country where you can't say what you want? It's freaking brilliant. I'm just sitting here watching the world go round and round. I really like to watch them roll. Yeah, maniacs. You're all part of the big goof.
It's Hillary's to lose, but Biden's definitely getting in this race any second now. So finally, I think he's just waiting for a slow news day, and he's going to pop that.
See, I don't even know what you're talking about. Yeah.
How do you avoid it with every? I mean, it's just
you just don't get involved. Why? What am I going to do? Think of this. It's such a now that I'm completely tapped out. Here, I'll give you the main events every couple years. Either a Bush or a Clinton is going to run and win.
Yeah.
And oh my God, these guys are going to get weapons and take us over. And oh my God, we're on the brink of being at war. That's every single day. Every 4 years. Oh, it's the Cuban. Oh, it's the Russians. Oh, it's Iran. Oh, it's Iraq. It's Syria. Oh, they're going to come after us. The war and the weapons of. It's It's the same horse shit over and over, and we eat it up like we're eating breakfast every morning, and you fall for it over and over and over. And when you break it down, you see at the end of the day, it's all about who's making a lot of money. And someone is making a lot of money.
Follow the money.
You're just the ant. You're just the ant.
I think when I'm done doing radio, I'll definitely watch the news way less. I feel like I have to kind of try to know some of this shit.
I've had the best years of my life not watching news anymore. I really have. And you know what?
So what are you watching TV? You got the Mets.
I don't watch TV. I really don't. Tell me what I should watch on TV.
So what do you do with your day? A lot of us waste our time in front of a TV or a phone.
Well, if I'm touring, I'm doing press in the morning. I go. I usually walk around. I write. I try to write.
So you're getting a lot done. Is what it comes down to.
Yeah, and even when I'm home, like TV, I'm getting the kids, and when the kids are done, I listen to sports radio, and then it's just real life stuff. It makes me think about what should I be doing for my mom, what should I be doing for the kids, what should I do for myself, how do I do it, what should I be doing for that, how do I enhance that? It's like I ain't got time for this. They too. Oh, we're gonna go to war. Really? When's the last time we've been invaded? Where there's people in your neighborhood with M16s and we're being taken over. Stop with that nonsense. Stop. Call me when they're down the street. And when they're down the street, I got news for you. If they already infiltrated us that far,
we're fucked.
You're fucked.
We're fucked.
If your greatest military in the world and greatest intelligence in the world can't stop an infiltration to the point where now they're past the cops, you're fucked. So what are you going to build up barricades and vote for the right guy? Come on. Stop. You're nuts. You're all nuts. Nice. You're all nuts. It's madness. At the end of the day, it's just madness.
Bravo.
It's professional wrestling. Buy your T-shirt. Get involved. Jackass.
It is fun, though.
It is fun.
I'm enjoying the hell out of the whole Trump thing. Just taking his shots and getting everyone so frustrated.
Hey, you know what? I love him. I don't even know him, but I love that he has the balls to just go. I love it.
Yeah. Well, Jim, it's like you were saying during the break. It's the non-whites that are causing the problem.
With that, we definitely have to take a break. We're going to get Jeff Daniels in here next, who's in the movies. Steve Jobs. You go and see movies at least, probably, right?
I always see movies. Yeah.
What's the last great movie you saw?
The Johnny Depp one, The Black Mass.
Didn't say. Is that about Whitey?
Whitey Bulger, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Whitey Bulger movie? I heard
Did you see it, Jimmy?
No, I didn't want to see it because I didn't like the trailer for it. I thought it was too Pesci and Goodfellas, the trailer.
It wasn't Pesci and Goodfellas. It wasn't even close.
No, I mean the dialogue. Not his performance, but the dialogue. About, hey, you doing this? Hey, I'm kidding with you. The way, like that.
I got to say, it was, yes, there was a moment in that. I'm like, a little too close.
Yeah.
A little too close. A little too close. But it was Johnny, it was all right. It was all right. For me, it's just...
You're downplaying it now.
It was all right.
Yeah.
No, I didn't...
the makeup was weird. That's what we...
The makeup threw me off.
We pointed that out immediately as soon as we saw the trailer. Like, wow,
Yeah.
the makeup is a little strange on him.
It didn't look like Johnny Depp. He did a great job, but the movie itself was... it was good. It just... When you see Goodfellas and The Departed, it's hard to live. You better live up to that and then some. That and then some. And
that's not easy to do.
For me, it didn't hit that mark. But good movie. Recommend to go see it. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, we got Jeff Daniels next to promote the Steve Jobs movie. He was terrific in this movie.
Is he going to be here?
Yeah, well, I don't know. We'll figure it out. So, and Jimmy's going to be in Albany Comedy Works this weekend, Friday and Saturday night.
Yes.
Maybe tickets available.
I don't know if they are or not, to be honest.
I really don't know either, but you might want to check on that if you want to see Jimmy in your neighborhood. All right, stay there. Got Jim Breuer in studio.
We're back on.
We are back on. We got a guy in studio all morning. You want something? That's why you're here. I don't even know why you're here. I know you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah, I'm enjoying myself a lot.
Well, you don't have to sit down.
We're going to bring Jeff in right now.
We're gonna get an A-lister in here in a second.
Yeah.
Just quickly, yes.
Quickly, I'm here on behalf of the Patrice O'Neal doc with Vaughn.
Nice.
And I did want to say, I know you talked about it this morning, but I had a problem with rape. I was charged with rape once, sodomy. I got it reduced to following too closely, though. Okay, I'm Vaughn on the show.
Let's bring Jeff in. We'll get
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Great intro.
Wonderful.
See, it's not easy to do. People think this is easy.
It's not easy to do.
Jeff Daniels back on the show. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
How you doing, man?
How are you?
I'm all right.
Good.
You just all right?
Yeah, I'm just all right.
It's early?
I'm just all right.
Why are you
That's
just
good
all
enough.
right? You look wonderful.
I'm all right. This is week 6 of this promotion tour.
Oh, you're done with
But
this.
yeah, but it's tough at the top, and shut up.
Does it get tiring, though, to just promote something over and over and over again?
If you don't like it and it's mediocre and you know it,
yeah,
that's when it's hardest. The two, especially jobs, aren't that, so it makes it easier.
Yeah, I went to see Steve Jobs on Sunday, and I also wanted to see the Martian movie, but I didn't have enough time because I got tiny kids. But I did see Steve Jobs, and that's
Tiny kids?
5 and 3. That's tiny.
Tiny kids.
We're just getting started, so
Yeah.
and I love the movie. I got to tell you, I'm not a big Steve Jobs, fanboy or anything. I don't even really buy Apple products.
Yeah.
Look at this. I got a Samsung phone.
Good for you.
But but I enjoyed the film. Is what I'm saying.
Good. Yeah, he's one of the great historical. I mean, the guy changed the world.
Yes.
Henry Ford, Edison, Oppenheimer. He's one of those guys, and these guys are complicated. And Steve was complicated, and the movie kind of gets into that.
Didn't they? His wife kind of approached people and asked not to do it, and a couple of guys apparently backed out of doing it because they. Was it his wife's request that they backed out?
I don't know why they backed out, but a couple guys, Leo and Christian Bale, I think, was attached at one time.
Yeah.
And Tim Cook at Apple, rightfully so. It's her husband, it's the father, it's the guy who championed your company, and now these guys are your first reaction is they're going to do an attack movie on him, and it's the study of a human being who was brilliant and complicated and had weaknesses.
Oh,
and
he was
that's what
flawed. That's what you learned from this movie. I didn't know that Steve Jobs was
That's what makes drama, and it makes it interesting. And at the end of the day, he still changed the world, and he's still a genius at the end of the movie. And so I can understand their concern, but to be honest, where I sit, it doesn't matter.
Sure. Yeah, when you saw it, you had no issue with it because it's like we're telling the story of accurately.
Yeah. Well, it's fictional. It's dramatized. It's what we say, and some of these things that happened didn't happen there. Aaron will be the first to say, but it's a study of what made him tick. I mean, if anything, the movie kind of comes off as how Steve thought. Mm-hmm. It's how his mind worked. Danny Boyle said it's the sound of his mind is the sound of this movie, and the guy was brilliant, and there are a handful of people like him in our history, and we got to make a movie about one of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of bright people where it seems like there's sometimes with that level of intelligence, you're sometimes tied into just less desirable personality traits, or it comes with like a certain amount of lunacy. I mean, it's hard to be that intelligent and not have some kind of a payoff on the other side.
What I took away was the guy said, I'm going to change the world, and then he did.
Yes.
And then he did. And then he did again. And then he did again. And I'm going to put 1,000 songs in your pocket. I don't know how yet, but I'm gonna. And you, like John Scully, the guy I played, let me help steer you towards the next great idea that only you will think of. And that was the glamour and the kind of the wonderful thing for the people like Scully around him, was to watch this guy come up with the next idea that would change the world.
And yeah, you were the CEO of the company, Apple. You play Scully, like you said. I was watching this movie. It's like a 3-act play, basically. And I was thinking to myself, wow, this is a lot of dialogue. I bow to you guys. I mean, the acting it takes when there's that much dialogue. And the scene where you break down the firing of Steve Jobs the first time, that scene is amazing.
It's a heavyweight fight.
How long did that take to film?
The actual in the hallway going at each other, Michael and I did, was half a day.
Half a day.
But, you know, all the cutaways were shot over a period of other days that they would cut to. But, yeah, Aaron Sorkin, whether it was West Wing or Newsroom or Jobs, in my case, it's heavy on dialogue. And so you just have to be ready. You have to do the work ahead of time, or you will drown. Because part of it, you can't ad-lib, you can't paraphrase, improv, leave it at home. Don't change a word. And so you've got to have it down cold, which just takes a lot more prep time.
Yeah.
Because when you get on a set that morning, today's the only day we're going to do it, and if you ain't ready, I mean, we had people come in on Newsroom, some of the day players, and a lot of them came in, they were told, you better have it together, and they would, especially the theater guys that were day players on Newsroom, but the guys that would kind of memorize it in the makeup chair, and they kind of cement it as they're walking to the set. By the second take, there was just smoke coming out of their ears. They were like the wicked witch of the West. They would just melt. Because once we kick into Sorkin speed, then it's the Indy 500 with, you know, the green flag. And
He's one of those guys that doesn't like to fuck around. He likes to get it done.
Well, you bet. Well, I was like, you know, show up ready, because we don't have a lot of time for you not knowing the lines, because this is Newsroom. So, you better come in ready. And most people would, but the ones that didn't, it was a joy to see them. Because the whole scene, maybe they had 6 pages, maybe they had it down word for word. Yeah. But when we go into Sorkin speed, ready to pick it up? All right, great. Action! And off we go. You would just look at them going,
oh, isn't that
this ain't
cute?
CSILA, is it?
Wow. Is it hard to work under those conditions, or did you have to
Not for
adjust
me.
to that? Did you have to adjust to it at all? Like, all right, this is the way this guy works, or were you always
There
comfortable?
probably
doing
was
that?
an adjustment period at first, no, Jeff?
No, it was, it's like anything. You lead from the top down, and playing Will McAvoy, #1 on the call sheet, as they say, you set the tone.
Okay.
So I had to come in there at 6 in the morning, and we would run the lines, and a lot of people would have their script and sides, and I wouldn't, ever.
Wow.
So I'm doing it, and I got more lines than you do, so you might want to catch up.
Yeah.
And the whole cast did that. That was the tone, and that's the only way to do Aaron, because if you don't, you're going to be very unhappy with what you did.
Yeah, that scene, though, where you fire him, I mean, how it builds is just amazing, and how it all went down, you know, cutting away to the bar scene and back to the hallway, and I was just feeling that.
He
and
writes,
then there is the payoff. It's like, wow.
Yeah, and for me, the role was so great. It was like a Shakespearean fall. He goes, John Scully in Jobs, he's this father figure, CEO, corporate. You just think of the next idea. I'll handle international. I'll handle corporate. I'll handle business. And it was great for a while. Trust, respect for each other. He really believed in Steve. And then Scully made a decision to stay with the Apple II instead of pursue the Mac, which in hindsight, wrong. At the time, right. And Steve never forgave him. And they never reconciled. There's a scene at the end of the movie which didn't happen.
Yeah, I heard
Fictional.
Right.
Fictional. But it was like a gift to Scully. And because one of the I met with John, and one of the things you could tell was that he wished he could go back and just have one more conversation with Steve, and maybe patch up a relationship that meant a lot to him.
Did he regret his decision, or did he just regret the fact that they, like, would he have, say, I don't regret the decision, but I kind of regret that we ended that way?
Oh, no, in hindsight, I mean, when you're saying, why don't we forget this Macintosh that you're working on?
That was a really stupid question. Yeah, you're right.
No, but at the time, and that was, I mean, what you didn't get from John was, I still think it was the right decision. You don't get that. You go, I mean, obviously, right.
Yeah.
Now that we look back, but at the time, but no, that was a relationship that he was a marketing rock star at Pepsi, and to hook up with this young computer crazy creative.
And is it true? Sorry to interrupt. Steve Jobs actually hired Scully, just like the movie said.
Chased him, yeah.
And then that's what makes this so fascinating. Then in the end, Scully fires Steve Jobs.
Yeah, I mean, part of the movie is, Steve kind of did it to himself. Don't go to the board. Don't do it. I'm telling you, you don't have the votes. And he goes to the board and, see, you didn't have the votes.
Yeah.
And now Steve's out, and later Scully was out, and they never, like I said, they never reconciled, and that was a relationship in John's life that really mattered.
Yeah.
What was the difference between the Macintosh 2 or the Macintosh and the Apple II? What was the difference?
They were both real basic. I don't know enough about computers. They were both boxy. I think at the time the Apple II could do things that you needed a computer to do at that time, where the Mac kind of, as Scully said, it doesn't do anything. It just kind of, and it's too expensive, and it wasn't what it ended up being at that time. And my guess is it was more artistic, more, of a plaything versus the Apple II, which was probably closer to a PC. I'm just guessing, though.
I feel like since Steve Jobs died, there's less, I feel like the company makes more lateral moves now than they do forward moves. Like, it seemed like with him, they were always ahead of everybody. And now it just seems like a couple of things they're doing are just kind of keeping up with somebody else. But I definitely see a switch since he died. I don't think the company...
You think everyone just caught up?
I think that's part of it.
Other companies just caught up.
But something tells me that he would have found a way to at least give the appearance that they were stepping ahead of other people, and now I don't feel that with them.
Yeah.
At the time, too, there was Apple, which was cool and sleek and glamorous and sexy, which was part of the design. And there was the clunkiness of IBM and PCs. Now you've got, Samsung, you've got all these other things going on that are as cool as sexy.
Absolutely.
Was he happy with how you played him, do you know?
I understand he is. I met with him and I told him, I think you're going to like what we do with you. He certainly has a very strong position in the movie and sticks to it and wins until he doesn't. And it comes off as a bit of an unfair fight, which Scully ends up with his reputation ruined. And at the end of the movie goes from a CEO in charge of everything to a guy who looks like he just got done walking his dog. And that's a big fall.
Absolutely. Whatever happened to Scully? What happened to his career after
what did he do
all
after?
this?
He got real quiet. John and his wife said it took a lot of years to kind of resurface.
So he didn't really work for a while?
There was a time where he didn't do much, but he is now. I don't know exactly what, but he's got startup companies, and I'm working with this company, and you'll see in a year it's going to be this and that. So he's back in the game.
Yeah.
But it took a while.
Yeah.
Had you ever worked with Michael Fassbender before?
Nope.
What was he like?
Great guy.
Yeah,
terrific.
He's awesome.
And showed up ready, and having done Newsroom with all that dialogue, you kind of wait to see when they just go on overload and they don't quite know it. Because that's the trick. Can you still work as hard in a Newsroom on season 3 as you did in season 1? And Michael did. The last week of shooting, he was as prepared as the first week, and that's all you can ask.
Are there guys that don't work well like that? Like, you always hear there's actors that have their own way of doing things. Are there guys that just like to show up a certain way and not kind of know it all, or?
Yeah, it's a way of not everybody, but it's a way of especially those who aren't of the theater, where you have to know your lines and all that on Broadway. L.A. you can kind of get away with paraphrasing and improving and sort of knowing it, but that's when it's written by 5 writers. And 6 junior executives have noted it to death, and you can smell it. You can just open the script, and it smells like 17 people have gotten their notes in, and you can't act it. It's not what human beings would say.
Right.
And so that's when actors start to go, okay, I'm going to paraphrase this so it sounds like a human being. But when you have an Aaron Sorkin, no. That actor usually has a very difficult time because you have to know every word. And we had a couple of guys, especially in the first season, that didn't quite know it. And again, as someone who has to know it every day, it was enjoyable, highly enjoyable to watch them just disintegrate.
Is he very territorial about what he writes? Like he doesn't want you changing any of it? Is he like a guy who writes it and says, no, this is exactly how I want it done?
He never has to say that. You're told going in, by the way, don't change a word. Or he'll talk to you. I mean, you having a question about a line? Yeah, I saw him do this once where an actress on his show came, Aaron, yeah, this one line, big problem. And went through it. He goes, yeah, what about this? What about that? What about, oh, she goes, what about, yeah. She goes, I know. Why don't we say it this way? She goes, great idea. And it's the original way.
There's great performances in jobs besides yourself. Kate Winslet is amazing. Almost unrecognizable at first because I didn't know she was even in the movie. I'm like, wait, that's Kate Winslet, duh. And then Seth Rogen as well.
Seth rises up, comes off the comedy mat, like Jim Carrey, jumped into a drama, or Jonah Hill. I mean, Seth really, it's a big leap when your instinct is to go for the joke, and Seth did just great. Michael Stuhlbarg's another one.
Absolutely,
he's great in everything.
Yeah. I really enjoyed the movie. Did you get to meet Steve Jobs' daughter through this process?
No,
or?
Lisa, who's a big part of the movie and kind of the emotional center of the movie, the father-daughter thing. Aaron had met her and spoke with her quite a bit, but I didn't.
Okay. I looked her up after the movie to see what she's up to. She's pretty much a writer, huh?
Yeah, I hear an essayist in New York, and
I just had no idea Steve Jobs had such a bad relationship with his daughter. It was
well, the movie gets into that. He had some issues with his own father and his own upbringing, and I think we touch on the fact that maybe he said, you know what, if I wasn't needed, if I wasn't loved, then I'm not going to love and need anyone else either. The only thing I need is the next idea. The only thing I love is the computer loves me. It says hello to, I mean, there's all this kind of shrink stuff that you can get into if you want. But there was some father issues with Steve before he even thought about having a
But there was a great scene about adoption in the movie as well. It's like, Steve, you were chosen.
Right.
You weren't given away. You were actually chosen. Someone did, choose you.
Trying to get him to look at it that way was difficult.
There's some real powerful scenes in this movie. It really is. And then I really enjoyed the Bob Dylan kind of peppered through the whole thing. It was nice. You're a music guy.
Yeah.
You probably appreciated the Dylan.
Oh, yeah. Friday, I go out on tour with my son's band, the Ben Daniels Band.
Oh.
Yeah.
They're in their 20s.
During how much off time do you have? Don't you, in your hometown, did you have a theater group or you started? Yeah, it's this theater group. Would you say, right, even though you're on the big stage of life, whatever, is that not some of the greatest passion and love that you have when you come home and you got your own little theater group and watching that whole thing go out there? Is that not the best time ever?
It's all equal to me.
Okay.
Being in a scene with Michael Fassbender is the same as walking on stage with my son's band, maybe more so with my son's band, or seeing that company of actors come together in the middle of Michigan and it's all the same. None of it is bigger or better than the other.
Okay.
And that's helped keep me sane, but also, I mean, you don't have to worry about the business, the ratings,
it's good balance,
the editor, whether they like the movie or not. It's just you get to do it. And as someone who's living a creative life, it's a great place to go to.
What's your teams? Michigan. What's your teams? You have
football,
teams?
my kids went to Michigan State. So they're still laughing.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah.
They're still laughing. Oh, my God. There is no love lost in that state.
No. Between those two schools.
That's a hardcore rivalry.
Oh, my, you can't write that ending. You can't write that last
one
play.
Of the strangest plays ever.
I mean, what happened? 7 things had to go right for him to cross the goal line with that ball.
Yes. Yeah, not only grabbing the ball, he still has to get in. That's it. There's no time on the clock. Here it is again.
Which team are you a fan of?
We watched this
neither, really.
Okay.
I went to Central Michigan University, which is, neither of those. But No, Detroit Lions, and
tough this year.
Oh God, it's always
Good Lord.
tough. It's always tough. Always tough.
No
Tough.
baseball?
Tigers and
I'm sorry we took Cespedes.
But isn't he great? Isn't he? And when they hit the fly ball to Cespedes and he catches it and you're on second base, he waits.
Yes, he does.
He just sits there and he says, "Go ahead, go ahead."
See,
hockey.
Jeff
knows.
I watched him this year. He toys with. He pretends he's not paying attention, and then he tries to gun you down when you're not.
Run,
I've seen him as a base runner too do that, where he's off second base. The guy would catch it, and they think they're gonna double him up, and he just kind of, and then he gets in there. It's like he's just toying with everyone. He's fun to watch play ball.
Jim Breuer is a huge Mets
crazy
fan.
Mets fan.
Huge.
Good for you.
Right now, it's good for me.
Yeah, but last year he was a Yankee fan. I mean, it's
No, never ever. No, he's a Yankee slayer.
He's always been a Mets fan. And you don't switch. When the Mets are out, you don't go Yankees, right? You're not one of those guys.
No, I don't want to lose the fan base, but no. No, they already know. I'm not in love with it. But I remember hearing years ago about in your hometown. I just love that stuff. And you have your own theater company, and you got that. It's just such a great thing to come home to. And
I just never bought the Hollywood thing. Never
I know.
bought it. Never. And you can't count on it.
No, you can't. I mean, you kind of can. But
but to go decades,
yes.
Ups and downs, ups and downs, ups and downs. You need and the Midwest, but where I grew up is consistent. Family is consistent.
Was there ever a time when it was the ups and downs where you're thinking, "Oh my God, I might have to try to figure out something else in my life"? Really?
Yeah.
When? Jeff Daniels?
And
what was that
10
thing?
years ago, 8 years ago?
What was that thing you were thinking? Man, maybe I could open up a hot dog stand, or what was
I was very close to going into music. Because I've been playing out with the guitar since 2002, I think, and I was grooming myself to get ready to. Just pick up the guitar and spend 10 years doing that. It's over.
Because you wanted to, or were you actually looking for something that wasn't happening, or you're like, I kind of like the music more?
It wasn't happening, and to the degree that I wanted it to, and that's the other thing. Am I still interested at this age? I don't want to play the jerk father role number 6 for the 28-year-old star who's making $10 million and can't hit his mark. I don't want to be that actor, I don't have the patience. Oh, you don't know your lines again today. Good, yeah. Put your phone down. We're doing a scene.
You don't get that.
It would have been bad.
Do you get that in the acting world?
Heck
where
yeah.
they have their phone?
Heck yeah.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
And then they don't know their lines. Well, try not to say something.
Right.
Try to keep your mouth shut. Yeah.
And then you're dealing with this, like true professional,
a legend, at this point.
legend icon,
a legend.
comes from theater.
Yeah.
Have you ever played a role at home, all right, at the theater group, wherever, that it was your favorite, never known part? Like on a very small scale, I have one little role. Still in college, way back to college, like, I wish people saw that role and they saw what. Is there one where there's just a little, like, man, when I did this little thing in Michigan, that was one of my favorite all-time roles. Or no?
I think I got into acting because I had a high school musical teacher who saw some potential in this kid who could do skits in music class and crack the kids up. So she did musicals. She picked Oliver, and she had me do Fagin. And Oliver, and I worked on that for 6 months before we had the rehearsal, had the record, I had Ron Moody down, I had it down, and I still think even at 17 that was as thorough or as owning a role as I've ever owned, even like compared to McAvoy, just because I worked so hard. I didn't know anything, I was 17.
Right.
And then the following summer I did Tevye in Fiddler on the Roof, which,
right.
18,
right.
Midwest, blonde, not a clue as to what Jewish was. they brought it. We're in the middle of the Midwest. She goes, right. I think we know someone Jewish. Do you? Yeah. She goes, we're going to bring Frank in, and we want you to talk to him and just meet him and just research.
Hang out with
I'm
him
18. And I'm going to go see Fiddler on the Roof again. I'm the movie. I'm just stealing from Topol. She goes, no, meet with Frank. So I sat with Frank, and he'd come in, very nice man, and I said, so you're Jewish? He goes, yeah. I said, how is it? And he says, not bad. I said, thank you. And that was it.
That was it.
all I
That's
asked
all
him.
you needed to
I'm
know.
18.
Yeah,
I
right,
don't
of
know.
course.
It's Led Zeppelin, Elton John, and now I'm talking to a Jewish guy named Frank.
Right. Please. I thought at 18 a Jewish guy was someone that works on cars because my neighborhood, I was the guy next door would come over like, you see the guy across the street? See him? He's chewing up his car. He doesn't have enough money. He won't go to take it to a real place to get it fixed, so he chews it up and fixes himself so he can save $4. That's what Jews do. And I would try. And I was in the back seat of my father's car, and we go past the garages. I'm like, Dad, why do the Jews own all the gas stations? He's like, what? What are you talking about? Well, Mike next door says they Jew up the car. He's like, well, don't listen to that moron. You know.
Yeah,
So that's
next door.
Yeah, I had no. Yeah, Mike next door ruined everything for me. I had all my jaded thoughts from Michael Byer next door.
Too
Took a
funny.
while to get out of that.
And you're in Martian, which I haven't seen yet. The Martian movie.
Yeah,
which is getting
that one really works for people. Matt Damon, what Matt does, he's by himself for 90% of the movie, and you think, oh God.
Yeah.
Not only as an actor, how do you pull that off, but how boring. And it's neither. It's a pretty extraordinary performance. And then Ridley Scott really knows how to do this kind of thing.
Yeah, you're playing the head of NASA. I just haven't been able to see it yet. I hope that's the one I want to see.
A bizarre question.
Yeah, for Jeff.
With the exception of Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Because he's clear. Who's the funniest guy you've ever worked with? This guy he shows up on set, and he keeps the light. This guy was one of the funniest humans.
Well, who
I've
knows
ever.
if Jim Carrey even was, though? I mean, was he? Is
I'm
he the
going to
funniest
assume
guy?
he was.
Oh, Jim could get there. You know what Robin had it.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Michael Richards. I did something with Michael. Michael, how you doing today? Good. I ate a cat for breakfast. Okay. He would just drop something in the middle of a.
You people are missing the facial, by the way.
Yes, I know.
The impression was freaking
It was
hilarious.
But those guys, the guys that only Jim Carrey would do it this way. You put a tomato on the table and tell Jim to do 2 minutes, right?
Yeah.
You tell Robin to do you tell Michael, and they would each do a different 2 minutes, and it was only Michael Richards, only Robin Williams, just to name 3 of them. But that's those guys. Woody Allen, those are the guys that only they would do it that way are the funniest.
Did you do a scene with Woody, or did you work for him?
I did a movie with Woody called Purple Rose of Cairo in 1985.
Wow.
And, that was, Terms of Endearment had been out 10 days. #1 movie in the country. And he was casting around. They were replacing someone. And I went in and screen tested for Woody and stood next to Mia Farrow. And I miss Mia Farrow. And I'm 30 years old. And this is Woody Allen. And oh my God. I do the screen test. I go and I sit down. And Woody comes over and he goes, really, it's very, good. But what else have you done? And I blanked on Terms of Endearment, #1 movie in the country. And I said, well, I was a guest criminal on Hawaii Five-0. Woody looks at me and, well, okay. I said, thank you, Woody, because I know I'm never going to see you again. Thank you. Yeah, it's good. Oh my God! I ended up getting it, but yeah.
I forgot you were in that. I forgot you were in Terms of
Hawaii
Endearment.
5-0.
Yeah. That I actually remember. You played her husband, who is kind of disinterested or just not a pleasant guy. From what I remember, it's been
In Purple Rose.
No, in Terms of Endearment.
Oh yeah, Flap Horton. Yeah. Weak husband who cheats on Deborah Winger. Yeah. The role was available for a long time.
Was it?
Yeah. Well,
was it they just couldn't find who they liked, or nobody wanted it?
He was so unlikable and so weak that you couldn't get any young actor star in Hollywood to go that unlikable and that weak. It always had to be strong and oh my God, yeah.
Have you ever looked at stuff that you didn't want to take for that reason? I would never occur to me to not take something because of the type of character it is, but I guess once you have your choices, you can make those decisions.
No, and you moved to Michigan in 1986, and after 3 or 4 movies, in order to sustain a career over decades and live in the Midwest, you got to take everything, and you got to go from A to Z. That's why I took Dumb and Dumber. One reason. was to go from Dumb and Dumber to a Gettysburg or a Newsroom or something like that. Though there are jobs in between there if you can pull it off. And so that was the whole method to the madness for me.
Yeah,
Dumb and Dumber.
Huh?
Dumb and Dumber.
It's funny as
I had
hilarious.
The night before I went out there, I had three agents on the phone. I'm going to fly out there to start wardrobe for Dumb and Dumber and shoot a week later. And the two agents get on the phone from L.A. going, you're not getting on the plane. We're going to stop this. You're not going to do this movie. And I said, yeah, but I want to work with Jim Carrey, Ace Ventura. The Mask, I hear, is great. It's not out yet.
Right.
Bad career move. We're going to put a stop to it. And I said, well, okay, I'm going to do it. I understand whose risk it is, so I appreciate it. And neither one of those guys are still there. But it was a risk. It was a risk.
Yeah.
And to stand there next to Jim Carrey when he goes into Jim Carrey, you just grab. The whole trick to doing that movie was to let Jim be Jim, encourage Jim to be Jim, and just grab on and ride it and react to it, bounce off it instead of trying to compete. They said, to Jim, we really want another comedian next to you. And Jim says, no, we don't, because the guy will just try to top me in every scene.
That's right.
That's how you guys are programmed.
That's
and
right.
Jim's the same way. He goes, get me an actor who will make me listen and make me react.
Right.
And that was my job. And I get my jokes in. I land. I get to do this and that. But Lloyd's running the show, and that was the smart move early on.
What a smart thing for him to say, too. Like, to not, instead of being, I'm more comfortable with another comedian and that mentality, to know, like, no,
it's not going to work.
Yeah, I need a more traditional actor who will know how to deal with this.
And make him kind of go, ooh, I need to come off the ad-lib trail and stay here. And we worked well together. And it really, especially on the second one, it was, Jim, whatever you need to do, let's do it. You know, if you want to take 10 takes and just explore, my job's to bounce off you. That's when you watch a genius, a comedic genius like Jim Carrey. The same thing with Nicholson in terms of Endearment. I saw Daly's 10 takes of a scene between Jack and Shirley, and you could see Jack bad. He doesn't have it right. He's missing lines. He's not. And then he clicks in. And then at 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, Jim Brooks turns to me and says, which one do I use? And the same thing with Jim Carrey. To see Jim risk, and then it's, missed it, throw it away, and try another. And he five takes later, he finds that joke, that line, that you see him work it. He just works it on film.
We have to wrap up this. Quick question. How does guys like that work with a guy like Aaron Sorkin? How does a guy like Jim Carrey or something like that work with a guy who's kind of wants it exact?
That doesn't go well, just because, and Jim has asked, God, do you think I could do Newsroom? And I'm going, every word is important. Really? I said, yeah, it really is. Might be a problem. Yeah, might be.
Oh, Jeff, I love this. Jeff Daniels, they're saying when you got to go. Steve Jobs, I enjoyed the movie, and I really enjoyed your performance.
Oh, thank you very much.
Really a great performance of this movie. And what else?
The Martian, you got two.
Yeah, of course, The Martian, and I want to end the show with Shelter from the Storm from Bob Dylan. It ends the movie. It plays over the credits. I sat through, sorry, you probably don't want to hear this, but I sat through the credits because I really enjoyed that Bob Dylan song.
But wait, the tour.
If nothing else, I
apologize.
Whatever
I'm being
one might
honest.
think of the movie, if the song at the end with the end credits is, boy,
it was
worth the price
wonderful.
of admission.
It was wonderful. I sat through the whole thing.
You gotta wait for the ending. Gotta wait for the
What
ending.
a song at the end, though, man. Yeah.
When are you touring?
I go out Friday with my sons, the Ben Daniels Band. Southwest, West Coast, Northwest. Yeah.
Awesome.
RVs, family adventure. Can't wait.
Good times.
Yep.
Yeah,
you got
all the best to you.
They're saying you really got to go. All right, Jeff Daniels,
Thanks,
thank you
guys.
so much.
Appreciate it.
Come back and see us, please. I think we're good too. I think we're done.
Yes.
Jimmy's going to be in Albany at the Comedy Works Friday and Saturday night. Tickets
I'm in
available. Wow, we don't get a Jeff Daniels picture because he's got to go to the next thing.
We could go.
It's fine.
That makes me sad.
I have one already from K-Rock, but
I don't know if I have one. I'll figure it out.
You can grab. He's running.
He's
somewhere
around. He's
live.
doing
all right,
He'll be around the building.
Brewer, thank you so much.
You got it,
my
man.
friend.
I'm in Iowa this weekend. I don't know.
Where?
It doesn't matter. Go to it. They'll find it.
It kind of matters.
They'll find it.
Riverside Casino and Golf Resort in Riverside, Iowa this Friday. And then Saturday, Grand Falls Casino Resort in Larchwood, Iowa, right?
Something like that.
All right, officialjimbreuer.com for all his tour dates. One of our oldest friends, Breuer, fucking rules. And by the way, he played a little bit of his music during the break. Holy shit, I'm saying it right now, you're onto something. It's right in our wheelhouse.
It's right
in our wheelhouse. The lyrics are really good. You feel like you're hearing sort of a Motley Crue / AC/DC / Judas Priest thing.
I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm shooting from my generation.
You're showing respect to the bands you grew up with.
That's right.
I really enjoyed it a lot.
I saw your natural reaction.
And it's very catchy.
It's
very
all
catchy. The hooks
I'm
are
gonna
catchy. The music's catchy.
stick in your head.
I think you're going to do very well. What's wrong, Roland?
Oh, Pecos.
All good. All went great. He loved the headphones.
Huh?
He loved the headphones.
Yeah, he was really fun. When he came in, I thought he was in a bad mood, but then he turned out to be in a really quite a nice.
He was hilarious.
He just got
too.
in from London.
Yeah, he's lovely.
He was a little tired. He was great. He was
Sometimes
absolutely great on
I
the
zip in
show.
from the coast.
Yeah. All right. Hey, guys, thanks for listening. Thanks to Breuer. Thanks to Jeff Daniels. And we're going to leave you with Bob Dylan, Shelter from the Storm. I love this fucking song. And I only discovered it, I have to say, only a couple years ago. So we'll play this, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.